Bum 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 ba da ba. Bum 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 ba da ba na 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 na. Hello and welcome to the Parking Lot Projectionist podcast. My name is Andrew Hirsch.
And I am Raymond Umbatu.
And tonight, we just saw Independence Day Resurgence.
Resurgence. Ooh.
Raymond.
That means come back. Oh.
What is Independence Day Resurgence about?
2 decades after the first Independence Day invasion, Earth is faced with a new extrasolar threat. But will mankind's new space defense be enough? Question mark.
Oh no! The ESD holding it down. Okay. Oh, crap, I'm choking on the Skittles. Oh, that was the whole synopsis?
That was one written by somebody. It was the first one that was on IMDb. I don't want to say their names. They might try to sue me. Now, that's a big thing going on YouTube right now.
Oh, really?
People suing people when they name drop them in videos. Not name drop. They make videos about them in a negative light, so they just sue them.
For defamation of character?
Yeah, supposedly.
We can't get into the legalities of... We gotta move into this.
Speech? Okay, all right. Raymond, what's Independence Day about? Oh.
You already said what it was about.
Oh, okay.
You're supposed to... This movie stars...
Liam Hemsworth, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, Micah Monroe, Jesse T. Usher, Stella Ward, William Fincher, Judd Hirsch, Brent Spinner, Patrick St. Espert, Vivica A. Fox, Angela Baby, Charlotte Gainsborough, Diaby Oparia, that was Umbatu, Nicholas Wright, Travis Tope, Chin Han, we're gonna skip that guy. Joey King was in it, if y'all know who that is. That was the girl. The teenage girl.
Oh, yeah. She's from White House Down. Roland Emmerich's other recent movie.
Oh, yeah. That's where she was from.
She had that amazing character arc where they didn't come to her baton waving recital, and that really paid off.
I can't remember. But I believe you. It's directed by Roland Emmerich. I'll be beefing with him sometimes. A screenplay by Nicholas Wright. Wait a minute. That dude was in the movie. Hold up. He was Umbatu's sidekick. The guy wrote himself into the film. That guy was a writer on the film, sir. Why are you making that face? James Woods, Dean Devlin, Roland Emmerich, of course, James Vanderbilt. Story. Okay, that's everybody. They just repeated themselves over again. Any interesting facts here? No, okay. I got. So we do a quick rundown of this? Because we got some other films to talk about too, y'all.
Yes, we have the whole month of June that we skipped.
Yeah.
We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Out of the Shaddies. Warcraft.
Oh, yeah, Warcraft.
And Finding Dory.
Yoo-hoo!
Last two are recent, fresh. All right, so Independence Day. What's the matter?
Just awkward pauses.
Oh.
Fun. All right, so...
Independence Day Resurgence. Give me a quick rundown. I mean, I'm sure most of oh my God. I'm sure most of y'all have seen the original Independence Day from 1996. Fun movie, great movie, one of my favorites. So I was a little iffy on this here sequel. I was like, this better be good. This better be all right. Hope so. Of course, you know, aliens invaded, blah, blah, blah. We beat them. We beat them with a computer virus. We uploaded that shit. Blew him up with a nuke. The end. 20 years later, President Whitmore, Mr. Bill Pullman, was having a opening credits montage in his head, dreaming of them coming back. Well, he was dreaming about himself giving a speech.
He was flying through vortexes in the cosmos, and then he came up to another planet that had a huge crater in half the planet. And then he went past that to the other side of the planet or something, or maybe to a nearby other planet. Creeped up and you saw this huge mothership
mothership turned on a video screen and he was looking at himself giving a speech from the last movie.
How'd they get a copy? I was at first.
I was about to like, oh my god, this movie already done messed up. Why is this? who filmed this and gave them a copy of the VHS tape?
Exactly. That was what I was worried about. Turns out it was just a dream.
It was a dream sequence. I'm like, okay, I'll let it slide.
So yeah, Bill Pullman, President Pullman. he had a vision of the Queen, and he wakes up in his bed like
he was shaking and rumbling,
looking for his cane. Did anything happen? Did anything happen after that? The credits rolled.
Oh man,
It's over.
the beginning of this movie, y'all.
Oh, you had a problem with the beginning of the movie? It took too long?
It took, you had to sort of kind of reintroduce, well, you didn't need to reintroduce Jeff Goldblum's character, but you had to introduce the new characters, and right off the bat, they just wasn't making a good first impression.
Ooh.
None of them was.
Ooh. Well, the first one we're introduced to is Liam Hemsworth and his sidekick, whatever his name is.
The dude, some dude.
The Weasley kind of nerdy kid who has to prove himself. Raymond wants some sour Skittles.
I'm sorry,
here.
I was like, they smell good.
We're
right
sugaring up on some sour Skittles. It's 10 p.m. Late show. Late show.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm keeping this back in.
So,
they built a moon base in the last 20 years. Advanced technology, alien technology.
yeah, they took all everything you saw from the trailers. They took all the alien technology, they reverse engineered it. We got advanced. They invented the internet and shit. iPhones came out of that shit and everything. David pulled out an iPhone at one time. I was like, wait a minute, still got iPhones in this alternate universe?
Yeah, that is a little strange. You think they would have something more advanced than the iPhone.
You'd be looking at a hologram pop up. Hey, what's up, man? You know, I'm sorry, you couldn't see that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like somebody pulls out a spoon and starts talking to it.
Yeah. What is that in there? That was in. Oh, that's Star Wars when he did
What?
Who was it? Somebody opened a panel on the wall and took one. It was Lando in Cloud City when he took the little thing and the little microphone. It was like the size of a spoon, and he talked on it. That's why he said that.
He's having a senior moment. Poor Lando.
He talked on the spoon.
No, I was just trying to think of something funny.
Yeah, they did all that. They built the moon base. The moon base.
Only got one big laser on it, satellite laser.
They set up one cannon on the moon.
And they're just installing it, too. Liam Hemsworth.
Maybe they was reinstalled. Maybe they had did some tweaks on it and they was reinstalling it. Or they was installing the bigger one. I don't know. They didn't say that. They didn't give away a throwaway line saying, no, this is the new model. They didn't say that throwaway line.
Liam Hemsworth and Squeaky are putting a satellite laser up on the moon. And Lau from The Dark Knight.
Yeah, Lau showed up, unburnt, and
It's the same universe. He survived. He like rolled off the back end of the money pyramid, and now he's part of the Space Defense Force.
unburnt Lau showed up.
I'm very good at calculations. Ease the satellite into place. And then the Squeaky kid is like talking about how much he's happy to be on the moon base. They get distracted, and then they knock it over.
He talked about how he wanted to sleep with all the 36 women on the base.
All 36 of them?
Yeah, he said he wanted to, and then Liam Hemsworth was like, yeah, sorry, all of them friend zoned you.
Oh, man. Looks like in alternate 2016, there's still a rape culture in the United States. Am I right, feminists? Am I right?
Oh, my God. Please don't. I tell you what, though.
Oh, no.
Something else happened in this movie. That's probably going to piss them off.
Oh, no. What happened?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
I didn't say yes, but I was like, that's interesting.
Hemsworth kicks in the hyperdrive, rebalances the weapon, docks. Lau's like, hey, man, what you doing? And then Liam Hemsworth's like, didn't you see I saved the whole base? Yeah, you saved the whole base from the mess that you caused. Liam Hemsworth's like, you're darn right.
Could they hear their communicators and could have heard the conversation that was actually old Squeaky? Squeaky did it?
Well, they made a comment in the bridge on the moon base saying, for some reason, we don't have comms with them. So they shut off their comms to have this social conversation, which caused them to bump the machine in the first place. They were distracted.
Squeaky was distracted. Squeaky the clamper. He the clamper. He don't know how to clamp properly. We saw that another part of the movie where he was trying to clamp something else and he couldn't clamp properly. Squeaky don't know how to clamp, so Liam Hemsworth saves the day. Lyle blames him, was like, oh, typical white boy.
The last thing we need is for something bad to happen just before our huge Independence Day celebration. And
It was. This whole movie took place in one day of the 4th of July.
It was one day?
Yeah, it was one day, 4th of
One
July.
day?
There's all that shit
The
happened in
whole movie?
The one day.
Wow, that was an eventful day.
Shit went down.
Wow.
So he was like, yeah. And
He was like, yeah. Did we cut to David?
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum?
yeah, Dave was in some part of Africa. Got a little sidekick with him who nobody cares about.
They roll up on a bunch of military Humvees to this warlord whose property is littered with skulls of dead
Little
aliens.
The skulls of dead aliens. For y'all who didn't look at the website, apparently
I didn't look at the website.
you didn't look at the website, so I knew it was happening. Some people don't know what was happening. All right, I'm explaining. They said a little bit in the movie, but they didn't say it.
What's going down? Oh, they were eating them?
No. that's District 9. This ain't District 9.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that's where it came from. They eat them to get their strength. No, that's not, okay.
Apparently, in 96, one ship that hovered over the cities, one of them landed and was starting to drill. They blew up the mothership and everything cut off. Well, the aliens that was inside that ship survived. And since 96 to 2006...
10 years,
the Africans that was in this area wherever it landed were having ground war with these aliens.
Man, somebody should have came and helped them.
Yes, and it said on the website that they refused help from anybody from outsiders.
Oh, they got to prove themselves.
Yeah, they wanted to.
This is a very valuable army.
Very prideful. They were very prideful. They wanted to have the war on their own.
But now they've called in the military. They've called in David Levinson, Jeff Goldblum's character, because the drill machine turned back on by itself.
The whole ship turned back on.
They decided to walk up in it. It must have taken like 50 years to get up that ramp.
I don't know how they did. Yeah, some kind of elevator or something. They just went up there.
Bathroom break. Everybody just got to trust each other, not going to look or anything like that.
Don't pee.
And they just got to roll down. If you come back and you slip on it on the way down, you're rolling all the way down.
That's nasty. That's nasty. So they go in the ship. It's like, oh, look, it's a distress beacon. The woman pushes it, and then a whole hologram of our solar system pops up, and like our planet's in red. She was like, somebody answered it, and was like, how can you tell that shit, woman?
Oh, yeah, there was a subplot with a drawing. President Whitmore, Bill Pullman, after he woke up from his vision, you saw he drew pictures all around his room.
It's a circle with a little line through it.
Yep.
Well, I can't tell you what the line's like on the left side of the circle. It's a small little line, like a minus sign on a circle.
And just like in The Lost World Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum's got an old girlfriend where he's going.
I don't think they told us what happened to his other girlfriend that was in the first movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it just didn't work out. Oh, that's sad. But sometimes love can't survive alternate realities either. That sucks. All right.
A lot of cameos from other people.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about some cameos, all right. Except for the one we wanted, and it didn't happen. Okay.
So, everything's going off, everything's going crazy. I don't know.
I'm sorry, they're so addicting.
Oh, no, Skittles. Oh,
we got to meet Dylan Hiller for the first time since 20 years.
Oh, yeah. They're welcoming the legacy pilots. They're the descendants of people who flew in the Battle of 1996 that won the war.
Yeah.
And he's Will Smith's son. Did they say that Will Smith crashed and burned officially in the movie?
They didn't talk about his character at all. You just saw the picture of it when he walked into the White House to go meet the president, new president, Madam President, I forgot her name, Langford, I think it was. He went to go meet her, and he saw not Mae Whitman, but Mika Monroe. Should we talk about that right quick? He saw a picture of his daddy on the wall. On the website, it says that he died in a test crash years ago. But they didn't mention it in this movie as well.
Yeah, that shot in the trailer that they used to make it look like it's the test crash is actually from the climax of the movie. Spoilers. So we don't actually see anything or hear anything really conclusive about Will Smith's character. It's really open to bringing him back in at some point.
We was hoping that it was all the rules. The aliens had like teleported him, and we was gonna find him in like an alien cell at the end of the movie, and he had to go rescue him. But that didn't happen.
There was an opportunity for that, yeah.
All right. Oh, we was talking about not Mae Whitman, Mika Monroe.
Bill Pullman's daughter.
Let's be real. Y'all know why they recast Mae Whitman. All right? Because she a duff. All right? Let's be real.
Whoa.
Let's be real. Y'all know how Hollywood is. I'm not going to play the sugarcoated for y'all. Y'all know how it is. It's all about looks. That's what happened. So they cast, what's her name? From It Follows.
Michael Romero, you said it. Yeah.
Even though Mae Whitman is very beautiful. But they wanted somebody to have that look, that slitherness, and that dangerous blonde hair. So that's what happened.
Well, Mae Whitman would have been pretty charismatic. She's a good voice actress, and she's got a lot of personality. Like
she would have been
in the duff. She could have brought it with the senior cast of this movie, with the returning cast of this movie. She would have been a good play off of them.
So you saying Michael Monroe was not good?
She was okay, but it goes tapping around it. We'll tap on.
I don't know if it was the writing or what, but some of these new characters, they just wasn't clicking. That's probably the problem with the beginning of the movie. The first act of the movie is just introducing, and it's just they're just not clicking for me.
Okay, the senior cast members, the veteran cast members from the other movie, all bring their game. They're all there to play.
Hell yeah. It's sequel time. We in this to win it.
Actually, everybody over the age of 30 in this movie brought it.
That's right, because we got the new cast member, which you're going to talk about, Warlord. He was good, too. He's probably our favorite new one.
But everybody else was slacking in this movie.
Yeah, I wasn't...
Is that just young Hollywood in general these days? I mean...
Maybe it's us because we are at that age and we just look up to the older folks, and now that we could see these people who are a little bit younger than us, and we're just like, oh,
you're representing me?
They're representing our generation, and
really?
It's just not happening. And that's what the problem is. I think this might be
sorry,
what it is.
people. I'm sorry that they're representing us.
I don't know, because I did not like Liam Hemsworth and his Squeaky. I didn't like him and his Squeaky.
I like Squeaky a little bit more than Liam Hemsworth.
Squeaky had something going on. He had the typical plot line of I need to get the girl, and we'll talk about that later. But he had something going on. Liam Hemsworth's plot line was like, his face was just
nothing.
He didn't have
nothing.
He didn't have nothing. But his plot line was he was boyfriend to Mae Whitmore, and he I say Mae Whitmore. I'm sorry.
Mae Whitmore.
That's her name. That's not her name. What's the name of the movie?
Well, her last name's Whitmore, but you just combined Mae Whitman with the character's name.
Yeah, none of the new cast members was hitting the right notes for us. All right, let's continue, though. Jeff Goldblum goes and meets Warlord Untumbe. Warlord Untumbe takes him back to his little mansion area. We find out that he's telepathically linked to the aliens, been fighting him so long that the aliens got into his head and whatnot, and he's been drawing symbols too. He drew that symbol.
He drew the most vivid one yet. He had his most vivid vision yet.
Yeah, whenever everything turned back on, he had the vision.
Incredible portrait.
Drew a portrait of this spherical-looking object.
It's a Pokeball without the dot.
Ooh, it's true. It's like, oh my God, they're coming to catch our planet. So,
cut back to Area 51. Finally, after 20 years in a coma, Dr.
Aku. It's OKO or something like that.
Dr. Data.
Dr. Data. We usually gonna call him Dr. Data.
Dr. Data wakes up from his long 20-year coma.
Yeah, he woke up, and him and his friend. I don't know if that guy was from the original film or what. I think he was.
They were emphasizing him so much. He had to have been.
I gotta watch. See, I knew I should have watched the original film again.
Yeah.
But that guy, another doctor, came in and was giving him flowers, like his friend, his bestie.
Now, Dr. Data was clearly dead in the first movie. Dude was not breathing. They checked his pulse, and his eyes were open.
They did check his pulse. I remember they took the little thing off from his neck, and they checked his pulse.
And his eyes were wide open. His mouth was open, and it didn't look like he was breathing.
Wait, but did he say that that was Affleck?
Ben Affleck?
No, not Affleck. He plays the character Casey on Chuck. I'm finding for y'all. This actor didn't come back. Adam Baldwin. Adam Baldwin didn't come back, but Adam Baldwin checked his throat. This is Adam Baldwin.
Oh, yeah, I remember Adam Baldwin. Why wasn't he back?
I don't know. Maybe he died too fighting some aliens.
No, that guy was great.
He was great.
He should have been the second in command instead of Shredder.
And then they could have made him, William Fichtner. I like William Fichtner. I'm glad he got to play a good guy in the movie again.
No, I recently watched Contact on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
William Fichtner was a really good guy in that movie. He played a blind guy, and he was a cool blind guy best friend to Jodie Foster's character in Contact.
I saw Contact not a long time ago. A few years ago back, I watched it for the first time.
If you want to see a friendly, good guy William Fichtner performance, go watch Contact. It's great. He can play a good guy.
It's got aliens in it.
Spoilers.
What he was again? I lost my place. Talk about
Dr. Data woke up.
Dr. Data woke up. Him and the other guy was having all kind of jokes.
Dude would win.
Everybody got a good laugh. Some of his jokes fell flat. Some people laughed at him.
What do you think about Dr. Data's performance overall in this movie, Raymond?
He got a lot of screen time, man.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he was introduced to like the second act of the first movie, so
they woke him up to be the comic relief of this movie.
He was the comic relief, and they went a little too far with the thing being open behind him. But other than that,
the thing being open,
the hospital robe was open behind him.
Oh,
they
yeah,
show his butt, his drawers and whatnot.
Well, at the very least, they gave him some dignity and gave him a fishnet underwear.
Yeah, thank God. Him and the other guy, it was nice comic relief. I would admit, I didn't think he was terrible. The ending thing brought it all together for me. The ending scene between him and the other guy.
I thought he might have been overdoing it a bit in his performance.
I can see why you could think that. Yeah.
Like he was,
but you know what? He was enthusiastic.
Yes.
So come on.
Yeah, he was enthusiastic.
You gotta give him that.
But he might have been like take it down to just one more notch.
One notch?
Just one more notch.
He was at a 10. You wanted him at a 9.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he was at a 9. You wanted him at an 8.
Just so there's a little bit of a serious side to your performance still intact. Okay. The guy was just zany, man. The guy was just all over the place.
Okay, when it went down after that?
There was a ceremony at the White House. Yeah,
No.
Bill Pullman had a conversation with Mae Whitman.
Yeah, Bill Pullman did have a conversation with Mae Whitman again. We called her Mae Whitman again. You called it
Micah Mum Whitman.
Micah Mum Whitman.
And talk about, honey, why are you staying here taking care of a crazy old guy like me? I know you wanted to be a pilot, and you really loved it. Yeah, but now you're sitting here taking care of me.
He gave her that backstory.
They're coming back. Yeah, I gotta warn everybody.
He said that line.
Oh, Dad, I love you.
Yeah, she's like, you crazy old goof.
Now you get dressed. We're gonna bring you on stage for the big Independence Day celebration at the White House.
But before that, though,
portal opens up on the moon,
and the sphere thing came. They was like, oh shit. Everybody panicked. What do we do? And Jeff Goldblum was like, look. Wait. This don't look like that kind of technology. Let's just hold off.
The sphere thing is just like the sketch that everybody's been getting in their visions, and it's right at the moon base.
It was just looking at the moon base, and it was like,
bring us the World Security Council. We'll make a decision on this.
Yeah, and Hydra voted to blow it up out the sky.
Hydra infiltrated the ESD?
Shit. Hydra was like, let's blow it out the sky. They was like, don't do it. They shot out the sky and they landed on the moon.
All right, sir. It's completely disabled. No life form readings aboard.
Some reason Liam Hemsworth knew at that moment, I gotta go get David. So he went down to Earth to go get David.
Well, David
didn't contact him at all.
Well, David didn't contact him at all, but there was a conversation in the boardroom. Was Liam Hemsworth present in the boardroom?
I think he was watching the whole thing because he was present when they was giving the commands to Commander Lau, the chief of the base. So he was in the same room with them. I guess he was hearing the whole conversation. So that's how he knew, okay, yeah, David's probably going to want to come up here.
Well, David actually did make a point of saying to Lau that I want to go up there. And then they said, no, we want you back here for the festivities to ease everybody's...
That's right.
Ease everybody off.
Okay, that's right. So that's how he knew. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. Some other shit happens, and then we go to the festivities.
Liam Hemsworth said, hey, get out the hangar. I'm taking a ship.
Him and Squeaky got in the ship. Yeah, he just told everybody, he thugged everybody out the hangar, and nobody went go tell on him.
Well, basically, if you don't get out the hangar, you're all going to die because the hangar opens up at the top to the space.
I'm going. They just let him leave. Nobody decided to stop him, even though he's the commander's least favorite person. He went to go get David. He took David's girlfriend, and Catherine, you're right. Warlord Umbatu.
And tax guy, the auditor guy, Squeaky number 2 or whatever.
Yeah. That guy got to go up too. But Warlord Umbatu, before we got there, we got a nice scene of him opening up a case and taking his 2 machetes and sheathing them on his back.
Like Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle.
Dude, And that's when I was like, okay. He got them.
You have to kill them from behind.
He better use these. So they got on the ship and they went up.
Survey the craft that had crashed on the moon. Meanwhile, the ceremony's going on. The White House for Independence Day is like 20 years ago, blah, 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 blah. And President Whitmore had a great speech at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
And, oh, speaking of which, here he comes. We're all gonna die.
But before that, they introduced the general from the first movie.
Oh, that's true.
He was older guy now. He was old.
He was old.
He's very old now.
Yeah, he looks a little... That's unfortunate.
That poor actor. Well, it was nice of him to come back. I'm pretty sure he's not having a good. Well, maybe he is health wise. He just really is old.
They showed David's dad before this ceremony as well.
Oh, they did show Julius
at a book ceremony.
Julius was at a
at a nursing home.
Dude was at the nursing home telling everybody buy my book, How I Saved the World.
And that's when I came up with the idea that saved the world.
That saved the world. I'm the one who came up with that.
And I could have sworn that guy who was sleeping in the front row, isn't that the antagonist general from the cabinet in the first movie?
In the first movie, it was the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, the Secretary of Defense. Wasn't that the Secretary of Defense? It looked like it was him. He was really old and he looked frail, but it looked like it was him.
We're gonna find out.
Because he was like 60 or late 50s in that movie. He would be around 70 or so.
I forgot this actor's name. Because I've seen him in other movies, too. James Rebhorn. Let's see. The last movie he was in. No, it don't look like it was him, sir.
It's got to be an uncredited cameo, man. It looked just like him.
I don't think it's him, sir. Oh, he's played in White Collar a few times. On TV shows. He's been doing some TV stuff.
Maybe they aged
He was in The
him or
High
something?
Life of Timothy Green. I ain't never saw that one. He was in Real Steel. I don't remember him being in Real Steel. James Rebhorn. No,
I know what he was saying.
I saw because that's why you did a little chuckle.
Yeah, I did a little chuckle because I thought that was him.
You thought that was him? It probably should have been him. It probably should have been him.
It looked like it was, or maybe they made a guy up to look like him.
We missed out on some good cameos for this movie.
They cast a duplicate that looked like him.
Ooh, they're not supposed to do that. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They got to pay Will Smith though for his likeness, even though he's not in the movie. You can't just put a poster of Will Smith up on the wall.
You can do whatever you want. That's his character. We own that character.
But he owns his face.
Nah, cuz. They took that picture.
That's defamation of fictional character.
Then they had another picture that we saw in his locker. Dylan had a whole shot of Will, Vivica, and the other Dylan from the first movie all together. It's like a family pose. You saw that? You ever see that part when he opened his locker?
I don't remember.
They were just smiling, huddled together. I guess that was a set production picture that they used as a Polaroid.
Dylan Hillard, Will Smith's son in the movie, and the rest of the Legacy Squad members of the Jets fly their jet spacecraft over the White House and all the way up to the moon for the ceremony.
The Asian girl was Lau's niece.
Zhang's niece.
And Squeaky had a crush on her.
Yeah.
When we first... I laughed because it was so cheesy and goofy, but I love it though. When we first got introduced and she went into the hangar with the Legacy pilots, when she first flew in, she was standing up in her cockpit. She took her helmet off and her hair just flew back like in one of those L'Oreal commercials. Yeah, it was great. It was beautiful. Okay, so Squeaky had a little crush on her and was like, "I'm gonna get that." Liam Hemsworth was like, whatever.
I was trying to use Dylan Hillard's introduction to transition to Vivica Fox's introduction.
Go ahead.
Because she saw him on the news before he took off. She works in a hospital. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
She got short hair, too. And she's no longer stripping, unless she still is.
Maybe.
You think
I'm pretty sure she's not stripping anymore.
Maybe that's her nurse duty. Maybe she tries to make people happy.
Oh, my God.
She does some exotic dances.
Oh.
She rushes into the room, and you think she's going to treat somebody, and then she just starts... That
would be interesting. But we didn't get much from her character except for, I love my son.
All right.
Yeah, Bill Pullman was at the ceremony. He showed up. It was like, it's President Whitman, everybody. I'm like, whoa, what up, President? Tell us something funny. And he was like, I came to warn you. We're all gonna, he started panicking.
He's getting the migraines, the vision migraines.
Tumbo starts having migraines too. Everybody's having migraines. And
Jeff Goldblum and Liam Hemsworth are actually outside of the craft they landed next to, the other alien craft that they shot down. And they're in spacesuits out on the surface of the moon.
And out of space, decloaking is a giant ass ship.
Whew.
Apparently they got cloak technology now. They didn't use that in the first movie because they was like, ooh, we some badass, we don't need it. And now they realize, okay, we gotta be a little bit more stealthy about this.
So a bunch of people start panicking, gotta go to code red and crap like that. And this ship is bigger than the last one, says Jeff Goldblum. And to be approximate, it is 3,000 miles wide, this sucker.
It was about the size of the entire Atlantic Ocean, they say.
You're gonna crush the moon with that sucker. Then they're like, hey, let's fire the laser at it.
Yeah. It's funny, though. This is a big ass ship.
What you gonna do?
I did. And if a giant ass truck was running after you, and all you had was a handgun, you better start shooting, do something. So they used their handgun.
For all you video gamers, here's an analogy. Imagine that you're playing as a Reinhardt, and you got a shield up, and you go past this one Symmetra turret. What that thing gonna do? What that thing gonna do?
That's pretty much what happened. So they used one of their little cannons to shoot that shit and blow everybody up that was in there.
Meanwhile, the squad of our heroes who are still on the surface, Jeff Goldblum and Liam Hemsworth, get back into the shuttle that they had commandeered illegally. And
Squeaky picks up the box.
Squeaky works his arms. He drops it initially, the Pokeball box that they shot down earlier. They get it. They try to fly away, but then they realize, uh-oh, this thing's so huge, it has its own atmosphere and gravity, and it sucks them in. It's like, what do we do? We go for a ride, Dr. Jones.
Yeah, they just went for the ride. They eventually go to Earth. Things starts touching Earth, and I don't know. They said it was supposed to be over that.
Lyle's dead.
Oh, yeah, Lyle died again.
They crushed the base.
Yeah, they just shot
But don't worry, Lyle was very smart, because right before the whole base got crushed, he said, everybody evacuate.
He did yell that. And it was quite hilarious because it's a big ass ship. I don't know where they're going to evacuate to, but just give somebody hope. You got to keep hope up. You got to keep hope alive, Andrew, in the moment of death. That's what it was.
Okay, they probably should just, if I
just lay down on the ground.
if I had seen that, I would, before they even fired the laser, I was like, bye.
You can't abandon your post, Andrew.
Yes, I can. Shoot, they don't punish Liam Hemsworth for abandoning his post because they're dead.
Oh, well, that's just, yeah, you're right. They dead, and
they're dead. They're not going to punish you. You're alive.
Okay. You're right. So this big ass ship starts coming. Supposed to be over that. They say the Atlantic, right? Supposed to be over the Atlantic.
It was over the Atlantic? I thought it just crushed Asia.
It's supposed to be over.
Yeah, the center of it was definitely over the Atlantic. You're right, because it is drilling through the ocean. Spoilers.
So it's supposed to be over that.
It's so huge.
Why did it go over Asia first, though?
Because it's mean like that?
It went over Asia. Okay, so if it's going over Asia, damn, I mean, all of Europe got messed up by the time it reached.
That whole half of the world is gone. If you're not on the American continent side of the world, you probably didn't pull through.
So China, Russia.
All the way to London at the top.
So it might have had to start. Let me pull up a map. We got to pull up a map. Okay. No, it had to start somewhere.
Well, it started in China because you had that guy who was in a cab on Beats headphones.
So if it started in China, that means that everything right of it. So Japan survived this. Japan had to survive.
They might have survived.
Japan barely missed it, pretty much.
Well,
they barely missed it.
There might have been some ripple effects, and since Japan is an island, they might have gotten a tsunami that would have been a disaster.
Some of the force from the back of it?
Yeah.
Probably so.
Yeah, but they probably made it through that. I mean, a decent amount of them could have survived.
So the gravity of this thing is just tearing up all these cities. So it tears up China. People start floating up in the air. People were floating.
Why didn't do a joke about like a person flying by their windshield? Because Jeff Goldblum, Liam Hemsworth, and the crew are still in their spaceship.
Yeah, see all these airplanes and monuments and stuff. They're just floating. So by the time they get to
London,
it gets to London, it's stopping. That's when everything just starts falling back down.
Jeff Goldblum, what goes up must come down.
So like one of China's buildings just lands in London, big old tall building just landed in London, crushed some shit.
Oh no, and then there was London Bridge and it fell down.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth had to pilot him out of there safely.
They like to get the landmarks.
Did he say that line in this movie?
He said it. He said it right before London Bridge came falling down.
I actually don't remember that part of this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in London, baby. This is London, baby.
Oh, God. All right. So land over the Atlantic. Oh, we forgot to say it. Earth did have some other defenses, y'all. They had the cannons floating in space. They had like one row going left to right, one row going up and down. Mm-hmm. And that shit didn't work. They just blasted all those rows.
At the same time?
At the same time. It was like, get that shit out of my face.
I mean, they basically had constructed a huge satellite chain around the whole entire planet that was nothing but the alien guns from the first movie. Those guns that destroyed whole entire cities. They had thousands of those satellites around the globe.
Yeah, that's pretty much what that cannon was, because it looked exactly like, except it was white instead of that dark bluish color.
We had one of those on the moon for some reason. We just installed that one. But we have tons of them around Earth. They all were about to fire, and then Mothership just took them all out with one beam, one blast. That's why you don't put explosive stuff in close proximity. It was like a domino reaction. Took out all their defenses.
Mm-hmm. They flew through space debris. Oh, they flew through the debris of the old mothership. So you got to shout out to that when it was going up to the moon, not after this. Okay.
My goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The sugar. Goddamn it, Andrew. Andrew brought sugar to the podcast, y'all.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. The huge mothership that takes up a whole entire hemisphere centers around the Atlantic Ocean and then starts opening up its legs to plant it to the ground, and the legs are pushing out the ocean and such. They get a call out, hey, we need all vessels to get inland as fast as possible, and then there are a couple jokers on a barge like, you hear that? They want us to abandon our gold. We just found the Titanic or something.
Some kind of pirates or something.
It's like, what are we going to abandon ship for? And then they see the huge leg, the retractable leg coming at them, pushing the water. Then all of a sudden you see
Julius. You about to go to Julius?
Julius, yeah.
Julius was on his little boat. The leg was coming down in the water. He had to get up out of there. He booked it. I was like, oh my God, don't kill Julius.
It's like that.
I was gonna be mad if Julius died.
It was like that scene in San Andreas where the Rock had to outrun that way on the boat.
That's exactly what it was.
But with Jeff Goldblum's dad, I just assumed he died because they had a whole entire containment barge flip over and they cut like it hit him.
It flipped over him and he like went between the containment barge and the wave.
I thought, they cut at one point where something looked like it hit him and it looked like he was toast.
Anyway, he survived somehow.
And, well, spoilers.
Oh.
The leg stops just short of half the White House and slightly knocks down the flag to half mast at the top.
Oh, yeah, it did. It's like, see, we didn't destroy the White House this time. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
They rebuilt it in the same place.
Well, you gotta rebuild in the same place. You can't let these aliens thug you out of your spot.
We're gonna rebuild it, brick for brick. Just the way it was, sir. Take this opportunity to improve the foundation.
They improved the foundation? That what you telling me? They got a whole secret bunker underneath there?
On the east corner.
Okay, so you satellite imagery. They show thermal scan of the ship. They see all the little aliens in there. Yeah, look at this big one in the middle. That must be the queen.
Hey.
Oh, we forgot to mention Jeff Goldblum. They landed. They went to Area 51 again.
The Legacy pilots. The Legacy pilots were trying to do something, but what were they going to do with those small ships? They chased it down to the atmosphere. It's like, all pilots retreat back to Area 51, but Dylan Hillard, Will Smith's son, was like, I got to go check something first. And so he flew to the hospital where Vivica A. Fox worked.
Oh, yeah.
She was escorting a woman with a newborn baby up to the roof on the helipad of a skyscraper. The retractable leg was coming right at him, destroying the whole entire city. I thought Dylan was going to try to pick him up, but instead he signaled.
Couldn't pick them up. He signaled for another ship to come in and get it. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because you don't have no cargo space for that.
One of those propellerless helichoppers.
Propellerless helichoppers.
Yeah, they got those cool little green things instead. Those cool little green.
The little engines that they got now. The aircrafts have the engines on them,
They got the little LED rims.
Yeah, it comes in.
Does it come in different colors or it's only green?
I think it's only green.
It's only green?
Because the aliens got like the color green.
That's the purple or red ones that float up in it.
Somebody got to have a special shit with that.
But they got the woman and her newborn baby onto the helicopter, but the building collapsed beneath her, and CGI Vivica A. Fox fell in. So she might be okay. Just there's...
She might be okay. Because it was CGI Vivica?
Yes, because it's CGI.
It wasn't real Vivica? It was CGI
It was CGI Vivica.
Okay,
so I think we're okay.
She could have survived. We might pull her out the rubble.
I don't know. Somehow Judd Hirsch survived. That was a miracle.
You can't kill him.
That was a miracle.
That's the man.
They probably should have had some jokes about him waking up and like praising, saying all sorts of Jewish prayers or whatever in dancing or something.
When all that was going down, Dr. Data, President, and William Fincher, all these folks, they went to go look at the behavior of the aliens that they had prisoners that survived the crash. They locked them up in Area 51, and they was all acting a fool. And Bill Pullman went in there, snuck in. Somehow he got code clearance and opened the door, overrid it, and all that shit. Somehow he was able to do that. The psycho president.
Pushed a red button, opened up a cage for the alien to come out.
Yeah, got one of the aliens out the containment.
It's like, whatever happens, get as much information out of it as you can.
So one of the aliens was like, she's coming.
Strangling President Whitmore to communicate through his vocal cords like in the first movie with Dr. Data.
Oh yeah, this is the scene too.
Yeah.
This is your scene. They talking to her, it's like, she's coming. And it's like, who is she? It's like the queen or whatever. So they found out it was the queen. So they was like,
is that glass laser proof?
No, sir. So they pull out their laser guns and they start shooting at it. The alien like drops.
They didn't say that.
Yeah, they did. They should have. Sorry, y'all. We just threw that in there.
For fun.
And the alien knocked one of those guys out, took his gun, and started firing back. I was like, oh shit,
that was great. That was great. I thought they were just gonna shoot the alien and kill it,
and it was gonna be nope.
That alien picked up a gun, is like, die, suckers, die.
Roland Emmerich said, "You know what? We going all in this film." And they did, y'all. They went all in this film.
We can't lock it down. We can't hit it. We can't hit it. And then you cut to Machete Boy on the back.
Utumbo, Warlord Utumbo.
Shing, shing.
He pulled out the machetes. He slid underneath it, stabbed it in the back. Then it opened his little face, because if you don't remember from the first movie, that's just like
body armor.
Yeah, shells. And the real alien popped out, was like, ah! And he just sliced his head off.
Woof. You can show graphic alien gore.
Yeah. You got to get them from the back. You got to get them from the back.
And at that point, this guy's the best new character in the movie.
Exactly. There was nobody else. This African guy, best character.
He's amazing.
He's the older of the new characters. He's the best one. I did enjoy, well, you only had a few scenes with him, but the kids that find Julius, I like them a bit. So it's a good comedy.
Yeah, including the White House Down girl.
Yeah, Joey King. She's good. Her sister's an actress too and played in another movie on Netflix that was really good. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
It's good movie.
The president went off to a separate nuclear bunker in Colorado, extra fortified. That happened. It's only important for reasons later.
Huh.
The lady president, she went off to the separate bunker in Colorado with the rest of the world leaders that were still alive.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But
President Whitmore went with his daughter to Area 51 for that scene.
Okay, I think
he was choked out.
I think I remember what happened, how that went down with her.
She got a really good line.
Who? President Whitmore's daughter?
No, the president.
Oh, yeah. That was a good line. So, they were like, we got to open up this sphere thing. So, Dr. Data's trying to open up the box. While that's going on, they're like, all right, let's try to get our pods together. We got to fortify an attack. They figure out, okay, the alien is at the top of this part of the ship. Alien Queen. We're going to deliver these, what they call them, carbon payloads? What they call? So kind of...
Cold fusion warhead payloads.
Ooh, there you go. That's long. I'm glad you remember that.
They're going to send
the
in...
bombers. They got the bombers.
They're going to send in automated drones to take down the shield, somehow. They didn't shoot down the drones?
The aliens?
Yeah. There must have been some pretty stealthy drones.
Small drones that uploaded viruses. That's what I think they meant.
Okay.
Just for that part of the shields. So it's able to go... and
Wait, how many jets did they have? Because they really focused only on the legacy people. So did they have
a lot of jets came with them, man.
Okay.
About at least at least 50 to 70 jets.
They were still overwhelmed. There was like zillions of aliens.
How many bombers there was? Like 12 bombers, maybe.
You got to protect the Y-wings.
Yeah. Why they go in and drop the bomb? So it's like we launching an offensive. Yeah, let's go get them.
Oh, they're killing us. We gotta retreat.
They shooting lasers at us. Where they get these new lasers from? We don't know.
Yeah, they got automated turrets.
So they dodge them.
They see an opening in the hangar. It's like, our only shot is to fly in there and sacrifice ourselves and blow it up from the inside. It's like, okay. Okay.
It's like, okay. They fly in. Like, you see it straight ahead. They're looking down. It's like, oh, look, they got their own ecosystem down here. And all that jazz. That plays into a little bit later.
Growing farm.
The big-ass crop fields.
Land. Yeah.
Oh. Because aliens, normally you see in movies, the aliens be in the crop circles and the crops. I like that. That was good. Shout out to Roland
we
Emmerich
established we didn't establish the threat, did we?
Tweet.
The drill is drilling into the Atlantic Ocean.
They drill in the Atlantic Ocean.
Trying to get to the core, and once they get to the core and start sucking out the molten lava, our gravity and atmosphere will discombobulate, and we will not survive on Earth at all. So everyone will be dead.
Did they figure that out, or did the Sphere tell them that? I know the Sphere told them that part, that's what it's doing. They was like, oh, it's going for our core. But yeah, they didn't know what it was going to do with the core. They didn't know what it was going to do with the core.
They didn't know what it was going to do with the core, but they knew that if it got to the core, it would still...
It was going to be bad.
Yeah. We were all going to die. And they had one ship somehow survive the leg in the water, and it's still there, and everybody was getting drunk aboard it, and it was like...
They're like on the radio, like, we need them... They want us to report in about what's going on. Like, tell them we want $100 million. They say, okay. They just got on it. They started doing it. I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, the attack with the Legacy Flyers didn't go so well. Their ships got disabled.
They launched like an EMP and shut down their ships. So they was free falling. Like, we didn't make it all the way. Just detonate the bombers. Just sacrifice yourselves. They're like, all right. And they detonated.
These little flying automated discs things attached to the bombs contain the blast of the bombers. So I guess none of the main characters were on the bombers.
None of the main characters were on the bombers.
Okay.
But they attached those to the bombers to contain the blast.
These nuclear blasts. And then when they lost communication.
And that EMP wave spread out everywhere. Yeah, and they lost communication, cut off all the internet and shit.
Destroyed all the satellites orbiting the Earth. So basically, the Americans all showed their hand early. They wiped out their initial wave, broke off all communication to possibly do a counter attack
around the world. Yeah, but then they pulled out the old school radios again.
They're still effed. Wait, how do old school?
Because it uses
the short range radios. They go from cell towers or towers.
Yeah,
tower to tower. Okay.
Okay. Dylan and everybody free falling. Oh, we forgot to talk about their little story arc. It don't matter. Dylan showed up. Dylan showed up, punched Liam Hemsworth in the face. And then when Liam Hemsworth landed at Area 51, Dylan landed at Area 51, they became friends again because he was like, oh, I lost somebody. He looked at that picture I told you about of Will Smith and Vivica and old Dylan. He was like, it's all right. Time to suit up. And they suit up and they go up there together.
There was an underdeveloped subplot with these other orphaned pilots,
everybody whose parents died in 96.
There's a subplot between people who did not have famous pilot families and those who did, those who were really working hard to go up the ranks, who were jealous of the ones who were descendants of the legacy pilots from the War of 1996. Liam Hemsworth's character was jealous of Will Smith's son, and so he did some harsh tactics.
He pulled out his iPad, and he was doing a training exercise. He tried to cut off in front of him, and he clipped his wing. He crashed, and Dylan had to eject. Liam Hemsworth almost killed him. But then they became friends by this part of the movie.
Because they were both orphans, and they now know how it feels, I guess.
It's like, I love you, bro. I love you. Yeah. Later on, we're going to tag team Whitman. Yeah. They high five. All right.
So, whoa.
They fall. They eject.
No, we lost communication.
That's right. We didn't even see him eject. Everybody thought they was dead. Oh! No. Whitman was crying. Daughter Whitman was crying.
They were just using the queen as bait. They baited us. And then turns out they had locked down the location of the bunker with all the world leaders in it. And they broke into the bunker, breaking through the huge doors. And all the guards pointing their guns at the door, waiting for it to break open. And then the Madam President steps up into the front, looking in the light like, I'm not afraid. And then they bust in. The alien comes up, stands towering above her, and she says, there will be no peace.
Yeah!
Bang, 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 bang.
They all die. And then one of the guys walk up to William Fincher's like, General, everybody, all the cabinet's dead. They're here to swear you in. They swear him in as the next president.
David was very rude, and he left during the swear-in.
David was like, I don't need to see this shit. But that's why I thought feminists were going to be mad, because like, oh, we had a female president. They killed her.
She did have a gun.
That's right. She should have protected herself.
Yeah.
That was her right.
Is that some sort of statement on gun control? She doesn't want to use the gun?
Even
in a desperate situation like this?
No, yeah, it is.
You can't show the female holding the gun. They showed one at the end. And she almost shot a good guy.
They all the same. Anyways. They do that. They shoot at good guys. They finally cut open the
Pokeball?
Yeah, the box. And another Pokeball came out. Nice white one. Looked like E from Wall-E. Almost kind of. It's like, what is this? Oh no. Oh boy, I walked up to it and touched it.
Squeaky number 2.
Yeah.
That auditor guy. The tax guy.
Utumbo Squeaky walked up to it, put his hands on it.
His hands got absorbed like it was getting absorbed into quicksand. He's like, guys, help me.
And all of a sudden it cut itself on. It was like, hello. I deciphered your primitive language. And Data was like, we're primitive? He's like, yeah, my species is abandoned our bodies a long time ago. We transcended into technology. He's like, oh, that's so cool.
I'm here to tell you about the sequel initiative.
That's literally what this was. Telling you about the sequel initiative.
There's a whole galaxy of other species similar to yourselves who are banding together at one hub location where we are developing secret technology that could take on these aliens. But no one has ever actually defeated a mothership, a queen like is on your planet. Your planet is doomed, but you could assist in the effort.
Yeah, it's like, I'm here to evacuate all of you, get you out of here. It's like, no, we're not leaving. We're going to fight this queen. It's like, y'all very brave. So what would happen if we kill the queen? If you kill the queen, she would die, all her ships will stop, and the other queens will retract that ship. So there's other queens out there. Ching.
Frick.
That's a lot. That's a lot of shit. I can't wait for the third one. All right.
Well, this one's got to do good.
Oh, yeah.
And so
she tells about that. Oh, yeah. She says she set up a little planet where all the refugees from other planets who had their planets attacked by this species is set up. We want y'all to come fight with us in the rebellion.
So the white ball says, by the way, you should probably destroy me before they get to me, because if they get this data, all will be lost for the whole entire galaxy or universe or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's when they figured out what that symbol mean. It meant enemy.
Then Jeff Goldblum's like, wait.
The enemy of their enemy is our ally. So they couldn't let the enemy come.
So Jeff Goldblum's like, wait. We can't just disable her. They baited us. So what if we bait them?
I like how you did the Jeff Goldblum impression.
They have a plan to replicate the radio frequency that it emits, tag it onto one of the lunar lander thingies, escort that into battle above Area 51, draw out the Queen's
It's supposed to be over the
detachable
desert.
thing. Yeah, Area 51 desert.
Mm-hmm.
Draw out the Queen, have it running around, and try to kill her. Kill the Queen, you save the world.
We're going to kill her and turn off her ship, and everything will be hunky-dory. I was like, all right.
Sounds good.
So Whitman and President Whitman was fighting about who was going to pilot it. Oh, President Whitman and David had a conversation again. It's like, it's been so long, yeah. And he tried to give another inspirational type speech, but it really wasn't inspirational. It's not going to be as good as the first one.
Well, because he had been strangled, and so they did a version of this speech where he was talking like this in his throat. There was another version of this exact same speech, because I recognized a few of the lines from the trailer where he's shouting it like nothing's wrong with his throat. They went with the more realistic version. But he had some gusto in the other ones from the advertising.
He was like, we told the whole generation that we could beat them. We're not going to win this time. All the young people in the hangar just stared and looked at him. Y'all need to get some energy too, goddammit. Show some emotion in your face. They were just like blank staring at.
Oh, these mindless young zombies, man. What the fruit?
Ridiculous. That damn internet they made.
Sheesh.
So,
There was a whole subplot where Judd Hirsch survived. A bunch of kids rolled up in a station wagon in flooding waters, and they all drove off together on a road trip.
They drove off. They was like, we're not going to get gas. The main teenage girl, she was panicking. He's like, why don't you let me drive for a while? He started driving for a while. They saw, hey, look at this. They saw some kids.
Broken down kids bus.
It wasn't broken down. It was like, hey, our driver left us. He wanted to go have sex with his girlfriend. I was like, oh my God, this boy just got left by somebody.
End of the world sex, man.
Judd
No, wait. How the guy's got to be close by, though. I mean, or did the girlfriend pull up and drive him there, or were they behind the bus having sex and then they pull
he
off?
left. They just went away.
That would have been interesting, though. If the bus pulled away and you see they were right behind the bus.
That's like a spoof movie kind of thing right there. So yeah, they got on the bus with the kids. So him and his kids, they found him driving Area 51 because it had a nice fourth tank of gas there. So they're trying to bait the thing. Oh, they pull out an old school sonar, park it at the top of the mountain to see. There's like, this is supposed to go to the Smithsonian. It's like, glad it didn't make it.
I don't remember that at all. Cool.
What?
What do you mean, what? What you just said?
Oh, the thing. That's how they track the mothership coming in. That little sonar thing.
I know. I said I don't remember that at all, but thank you. That sounds cool.
What you mean? That was the ending when they was looking at it. You didn't know what they was looking at?
I didn't catch that.
That it was
that whole Smithsonian thing. And
you didn't catch that part?
No.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, it's supposed to make this some smoties.
Smoties.
The Smithsonian. So they use that. They can do that.
Meanwhile, legacy pilots are alive, being hunted by aliens in the crops. In the tall crops.
Tall crops on an alien ship.
They escape. They go mountain climbing up to freaking launch pad area. Liam Hemsworth pulls out his
Squeakies
dick.
was up there. Yeah, he started peeing on the ground. Told the aliens, y'all killed my parents. It was like, hey. They all just looking at him. It's like, this guy's got his dick out. Somebody arrest him. So
all the
aliens
aliens went up to the window and everybody's looking out at this guy like, what the fuck is that?
This guy's got his penis out. Somebody do something. They call the police and the police come in.
Huge armored guy comes in. They end up escaping with a bunch of the alien ships and they're flying back to Area 51.
Now, I'm assuming that on the brand new internet, Jeff Goldblum leaked, or they had in their training that they knew how the controls work for the thing.
There was a one-off line with Jiang's daughter. She said something like, oh, it's a little different than the other ones, or something.
Yeah, so they know. Yeah. Okay.
They try to cover their bases. They did. Yeah.
All right. They try to escape.
They did escape.
So Leanne...
We're good.
You don't want to explain that? You just ready to cut?
Well,
all right, they escape.
Well, it's a double vehicle. You got to turn in the back, and you got the driver up front.
Got the shooter.
You want to talk about who's paired with who?
Yeah. We're going to say Liam's paired with Dylan, and Squeaky's paired with Hottie Asian.
There you go.
They escape. Okay.
And they get out of there. That's all you need to know. They head back to Area 51, but you don't know that for certain because it's supposed to be a surprise.
Yeah.
And the bus is heading for Area 51, and they got their huge gun turrets stationed outside the Area 51 building. They got barricades with soldiers with laser guns out front, and you got Squeaky number 2, the auditor, next to Machete on the front line. And David's out in the middle of the desert with a shield generator, ready to do his thing.
The ship's coming in. Fighter ship starts shooting at Area 51. Her little detached ship from that big-ass ship comes over. Daughter Whitmore escorts President Whitmore with the decoy, and he flies in there, goes up to the queen, and he was like, die, bitch, or something like that.
That probably would have been better than the line he said.
What
I don't
he said?
remember.
Yeah,
he didn't say it was generic. Like, this guy's sacrificed himself. Give him a better line. Give him an F-bomb or something.
He blew it up, and the whole ship blew up, and David
like, make him say America. Yeah.
There you go.
Or something like that.
There you go. I like that. So David turned on the shield generator.
Welcome to Earth. Reprise that line or something.
They tried to do that joke where Will Smith punches the alien. Liam Hemsworth, when he was trying to escape, he punches one of the aliens and goes, ow! He's like, I should have just kept running. Because it didn't work, because he's not Will Smith. So I guess people complained about that from the first movie.
So that blows up the whole
So that blows up the whole entire. So that blows up the whole entire detachable piece, and it was like that should do it. Yay!
Yeah, he turned the shields on.
And I was like, if that was the climax of this movie, that was a completely
No. I knew it wasn't climax
climax
because they spoiled the actual queen coming out in the trailers and the TV spots. They spoil it. They show her foot come down and step on people. So I was like, oh, okay, she survived somehow. How did she survive?
She's got her own personal shield.
Yeah. Oh, we saw her suit up too, y'all.
That was nice.
What?
It's a nice change of pace. They blew up the big ship, but that wasn't the end of it. Now it's a personal battle with this alien coming at you.
The queen's coming, and the prisoner aliens from inside Area 51 escaped.
Before even any of this happened, you had the bus. They reunite the Levinsons.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum and his dad reunite.
If you didn't even call, I didn't get to see you. Thanksgiving.
Wait, what? You got to wait for the end of the world to hear from you?
Look at that.
Yeah, I see it. What? Oh, whoa.
Oh, shit. So that happened.
Oh, we need characters that interact like that in this movie.
We had to wait for the ending to get the good stuff, sir. We had to wait for the ending to get the good stuff.
The chemistry between those two was great. Seeing them together on screen again.
They better stay together in the third movie. That's all you need. Just add them two together in the third movie. Don't mess it up.
I love how nonchalant he was about the huge alien spaceship coming. Like, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? We need to talk, David.
So the queen comes out with her own personal shield in her giant ass suit and starts running around. She's a 50-foot queen. Nice giant monster type thing going down.
She's got like a school bus size gun, assault rifle.
Yeah, she had a big ass gun. She was just shooting at everything, man. She was trying to shoot at the bus. David and everybody hopped on the bus to roll away.
But there was a dog outside, and White House Down, like Joey King was like, "Oh, the dog!" And then it was like, and David's like, "Really? We're gonna wait for the dog? Okay." Whatever.
It was beautiful.
Whatever. I give up.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
F life.
It was beautiful.
We're gonna wait for the dog. Okay.
It was beautiful. So that happened.
They get the dog.
They drive off. Alien Queen's chasing them, shooting at everything. And one of the kids says she disappeared or something like that. He's like, what? And Judd is like, I think he said it jumped. And then it just lands in front of him, barely missing him.
On the bus.
Yeah, it just knocks off the little
stop sign.
The mirror. Oh, the stop sign in the mirror. Yeah. So,
and the current fighter pilots are trying to take down the queen and her shield, led by Mae Whitmore. That's what you keep saying it, sir.
I just called her Whitmore this time.
Yeah.
Her last name's Whitmore in the movie. The character's last name is Whitmore. Lady Whitmore. She's taken to the queen. Queen's fired at her. Queen's fired at the other pilots, shooting them down.
She pulled around in front of the thing and aimed for the belt waistline, and that was enough to destroy the shield.
Yeah, she was able to destroy his little protective vest, bulletproof vest.
And then swiped at her, took her craft down. She had to eject. She's fine.
Aliens inside Area 51 escaped.
Trying to get to the Pokeball.
They see where it's at and they communicate with the queen. Everybody who was attached to him was like, oh, she knows it's coming. She knows where it is. She redirects herself, gets her aircraft to swarm around and form her own personal tornado shield type thing.
Well, before that, the other crew had come in to save the day.
Well, the crew.
The legacy pilots had come in the alien spaceship to save the day.
She was getting ready to step on Mae.
Yeah.
Mae.
You said it again.
You know what?
Mae.
I give up. I get up.
We can call it Mae Whitman.
It's Mae Whitman. They step on Mae Whitman.
It should be Mae Whitman.
they go in and they try to step on Mae. She tries to step on Mae Whitman.
Michael Monroe, you're an attractive young woman. I enjoy DNA It Follows. Where's Mae Whitman, though?
Yeah, the legacy pilots show up and start taking her down with the ships. And that's where she controls all the ships and they get a part of the tornado. Meanwhile, Data's friend, who I can't remember from the first movie, he gets shot. They have this conversation. It was so funny. Oh, he said something that I thought was hilarious. Oh, he said, that thing around your neck, it's supposed to be a sweater. I thought that was great.
Wearing it as a scarf the whole entire movie.
So that was great. And he died, and Dr. Data went ham on some aliens after that.
And they're like, they're breaking out. We can't contain the aliens. And Machete overhears this. He's like, and he goes charging off into the building. And we were like, yo, he's going to slice up some more aliens.
It was great.
But he didn't.
We didn't get to. Oh, yeah, you didn't get to see more of him. It's got to be an extended version, sir. It's got to be an extended version.
He didn't. I want him to go ham on at least 5 aliens in a row with machetes.
There's got to be an extended edition. We got to see the extended edition. Roland Emmerich, don't play games. We got to see the extended edition.
It's rare that a movie has me cheering at certain parts in it. So this movie does some things right. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Got me excited about things.
Alien Queen's coming in, rips off part of Area 51 and grabs that sphere.
He's going for the files.
We need that key, it's locked. So the Legacy pilots decide that they're going to use the hyperdrive generators and get out of there.
They get out of the loop that the other hive-minded ships are in, launch off, and it's like, we're only going to have one shot on this.
We got to go up, and their engines burn out. So it's like, oh.
Free fall. We're going to die. We're going to take her out with us.
So they free fall and they're shooting at her
Bing, 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 bing,
from
bing.
down.
They pull up, so that negates their sacrifice, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
everything
it was
was
supposed
fine.
to be like if they were still free falling, but they did like a ooh.
So it has
like that.
wing technology?
Yeah, they can still
Float? They still glide?
They can it doesn't. You're kind of right. Okay, it doesn't have like the flaps on it like a regular ship. So if a regular ship, like a human ship, was free falling, it could use its flaps. We don't know what their technology is like. So maybe it does have some kind of ability to actually control in free fall. They probably did. So that's what they did. They was able to control it in the free fall and started shooting at the queen as she's running, and she dies, drops the sphere. Queen's dead. The aliens.
They all just shut off.
Everything falls.
The people who are monitoring the drill see the drill stop, and they're like, "We're $100 million rich!
Woo!
Woo! Party boy!"
And then that giant ass ship gets recalled like the White Sphere said it would, and it just leaves because there's no possible way they can blow that shit up without destroying half the planet.
Yeah.
Dr. Data, everybody meets up in the desert again, like at the end of the last movie.
Mae Whitman pulls a pistol on one of the alien craft, thinks she's about to be attacked, shoots at Liam Hemsworth. He dies.
Yeah.
No, he's fine. He runs up, they have a reunion. She just like sexually assaults this man.
And Dylan looking, smiling approval. And Squeaky.
They pan over and you see a VW with Winter Soldier and Falcon in it, and they're just nodding like, yeah.
So they show Squeaky and Squeaky. Squeaky. What happened? Squeaky looks at the Asian girl.
That's too funny. I'm sorry.
Squeaky looks at the Asian girl and is like, we should be doing that. She's like, you know what? Dinner first. I was like, you know what? Good on her. I'm glad that happened.
Woo! I wish he broke it out into a little dance. Like they should have kicked off some of that Rush Hour music at the end, like doo 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 doo. Like everybody's just jiving, walking away.
So then White Sphere and Dr. Data walk up to everybody. It's like, this thing knows everything. It's like, guys, all the technology we learned from this, we're talking about intergalactic travel. It's like, when do we start? Okay, and then it cuts the credits.
We're gonna kick some alien ass.
Yeah, start playing the theme. Everything's good. Oh God, we talked for an hour 30. Oh God,
we're good.
Whew.
All right. So, general thoughts on Independence Day Resurgence. Would you like to go first, sir?
Pretty much. You already know. I didn't like the new characters. I was so excited for this movie. This was my most anticipated for this year for the summer movies. It's like, man, I hope it's good. I hope it's that. And it was just, I was just flopping back and forth. Then I got into the movie, and in the beginning of the movie, I was just like, oh my God, this is not going to be good as I want it to be. But eventually, it found its bearings. When Julius, every scene with Julius was great. Out of the new people, Tumbo was good. Dylan, when everybody started working together, by the time we got to that act where they decided to go attack the mothership, I was like, okay, now I'm okay with this movie. Everything's fine and whatnot. The beginning, the reintroduction thing is just, it's too much. I guess it's the pacing, because it's like you follow along with this character for a little bit, then you cut to another character, and I think sometimes it forgets that there's some character you need to go back to in order to get something. It's ridiculous. In that beginning part with the characters, I'm pretty sure that those scenes can be rearranged in a different way. They'll make it a lot better. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I know I try to defend the young actors, but in this movie, I didn't like Dylan. Liam Hemsworth was all right. His little sidekick buddy, when I first got introduced to him, I just didn't like them both at first. But then the sidekick guy grew on me because they gave him that generic thing where he was like, hey, I'm gonna try to get with the pretty girl. He was all right. Oh God. Who else was there? Whitmore. I know we were making fun of it. She did stuff, but I don't know. I just didn't care for her character. There should have been more scenes of her and her dad together, I think. Everything else was fine. It felt like an Independence Day movie by the time we got to the middle of the movie. It was great. Like Andrew said, it was a change of pace for the end of the movie. But it's kind of like aliens. They got to make their queen bigger than their queen kind of thing. But I still enjoyed it, though. It was fun, but it wasn't like it, though, because she still had control of her ships and everything. And it was pretty cool surrounding. It's like, if you're going to go all in, go all in. So they set up, oh, there's a queen. All right, well, we're just not going to kill her off immediately. Let's have an actual boss battle in this movie. And we had a nice little boss battle in this movie. And we don't get that a lot. I mean, you've probably heard us complain about that in other podcasts. And we finally got it in this movie. And that's just old school 90s feel to it. I really enjoyed that about it. So I really like this one a lot. And I think it's not the best possible sequel it could be. But it is still a good sequel to the Independence Day. And again, we got this little small plot line where now it sets up. They're about to go attack those aliens, join up with other aliens around the universe, and have this big war thing. So now, the first movie, it was kind of a grounded in reality kind of thing. And now you're about to be in this crazy fantasy adventure kind of thing by the third movie here. This one was pretty much in between. So I guess it's different. This was a nice reintroduction to the alien invasion thing again. We haven't had a good alien invasion movie in a while, have we? The last one was Independence Day, was it? Oh, well, War of the Worlds.
You didn't like the Fifth Wave?
No, I didn't like the Fifth Wave. I was also the host. Yeah. We didn't like. This was a good alien invasion movie again. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that right now. Steal some more of these South skills while I don't have to talk no more.
All right. I was I'm gonna wait for the wrinkle to stop for a second.
Sorry, everybody.
Hold on a second. Get it out of his mouth. All right. Yeah, the movie's a mixed bag, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was actually able to have some fun and regenerate some of the energy from the first movie, particularly with the older cast. And like Raymond said, I agree 100% with him that the younger cast and a lot of the younger extras too are just very, very stilted and wooden in their performances a lot of the time, and I just cannot get absorbed into their characters. And they spend a good chunk of the opening, like he said, establishing these people. The charisma doesn't fully break through. It's like they're being a little too young adult movie subtle in their approach to this material, whereas the older veteran cast is just bringing it and being dramatic and silly and energetic, unlike them. The older cast, I really respect them for bringing it, besides Dr. Data, who might have wanted to dial it down a little bit.
He got too much screen time, man.
He was slightly exaggerated in his character from the first movie. He must have been just really excited to be back in this movie, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, they brought me back for this movie even though I died in the first one. I'm so happy.
It's like, we don't have Will Smith. We need a new comic relief character.
This is what they got.
The main benefit of seeing this movie is to see what the pre-production team came up with, the concept artists of the movie. A lot of the appeal of this movie is starting off with this new advanced technology that's developed out of the original alien technology and the alternate 2016.
Yeah, this alternate universe here.
That's a lot of the appeal of this movie right now. And also that they change up the formula ever so slightly. Like, now we got a moon attack at the beginning. In the middle of the disaster, now we got a failed mission, and we actually have people inside the ship, exploring inside the ship, a ground team inside the ship. I thought they were going to do a bigger adventure inside the ship, but they kind of glossed over that potential subplot of them trying to survive and battle inside the ship. Maybe in the extended cut.
At least we got to see inside. And it was nice that they showed like the ecosystem thing, the crop circle thing. Well, not I say crop circle, but the crops. It was fun. It was like a play on that. These aliens got their own crops inside their own ship.
And they tried to expand on the first movie by actually giving a reason why the aliens attacked. Some might think that's a bad thing because they like the mystery of these ominous aliens and not knowing their purpose and such. These sequels are kind of devaluing that.
The first movie, they sent those smaller ships in. It was actually going to like claim the planet for themselves. But then this other thing told them that this ship that's coming now is actually trying to take your core for fuel. It's got to fuel all the rest of his warships.
It seems like this big ship could have done all the work that those small ships were going to do itself.
From the first movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole thing about this one was, from the trailers, I was like, oh man, now it's an actual warship. They sent in like harvester ships in the first movie. Now they're going to war. But it was kind of just
like
I guess it was a warship slightly. I don't know.
It almost seems like it was on a schedule anyway. In the first movie, 20 years earlier, those ships were supposed to, like you said, clear the way, and this thing was just going to be there no matter what. It seems like it was a scheduled thing.
Oh, that's what you think? That they set those in?
That's my
to clear it out, then they were supposed to leave and go clear something out, so that plane was just supposed to sit for 20 years, just lifeless, and deserted.
Yeah.
And then they go, okay, I like that.
You think that?
Yeah.
You like that?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they just clear it out, make sure it's out of the way, so the big queen can come in, do her stuff, harvest.
They take it, harvest it up.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I like that.
So I think it was just on a schedule. Like, they're not coming back for revenge in this movie, in my interpretation of the events. They just came because, hey, we were supposed to come here anyway. It's like, look, they didn't clean this planet up, and so they had to come in and they had to clean it up themselves.
I like that.
It adds to the lore, or depending on your opinion of this movie, maybe you think it takes away from the lore by explaining. I can't imagine what you would think of the third movie if you like the mystery of the aliens, because it seems like the mystery is about to go completely out the window, and we're just going to go full-on Infinity War.
It's about to be Star Wars time.
Yeah. Light speed ahead. I appreciated the moments, like I said, the older actors, and whenever they were capturing the fun elements of the story, but there's the younger actors were playing it too subtle, and it was kind of bringing the movie down a bit. But what was really bringing the movie down was, for some reason, this teal color correction over the whole movie. It was insane. There's no color in this world. There's color in the first one. Like, as the more fantastical things go, you just put a blanket teal green filter over the whole entire movie. It's very distracting, and it takes away from the spirit and liveliness of the surroundings a lot. It feels like very lazy color correction.
Yeah.
And it kind of hurts the tone of the movie as well when they're trying to be fun and they got that Man of Steel look to it.
Ooh,
the
terrible.
Image. But Man of Steel probably had a little bit more color.
Yeah, Man of Steel was terribly teal. This one was, I didn't notice the teal in this one, but it was, I noticed it in certain scenes, but I didn't notice.
It was
Man
so
of
bad.
Steel was just super tealed.
It was pretty bad in this one.
In this one too?
It was pretty bad in this one.
I think because we had on those 3D glasses.
You're just used to seeing teal.
I think those 3D glasses messed us up there. I think if we watch a 2D version of this, it'll be just a little bit better.
Like, by the time they were actually in the alien mothership flying those stolen crafts out, the alien mothership, we know from the first movie, has a lot of green lights in it. And so they had dark teal with the green lights. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, there's no other color on the screen. What happened to all the color?
No more color.
There's no flesh tones at all in this movie most of the time. Like, everybody's pale.
It wasn't as vibrant as it should have been, but that scene with the celebration at the White House, did they have like a red carpet somewhere or something like that? They had a little bit of something going on there. It wasn't the best though. Oh, for all you fans out there, they did give, when they opened up with the movie, the establishing shot of Washington, they had a monument with all the names of all the pilots that died, and the first name you see there was Russell Case. That was nice. Russell Case was the guy who sacrificed himself at the end of the first one, if y'all didn't know. So everybody's a big fan of that. I think if you're a fan of Independence Day, you'll pretty much enjoy this. It may take you a while to get in that film because of these damn people. And normally I try to support the young actors, man, but for some reason the old guys were outshining them in this one. They were really, really outshining them, or maybe they just didn't want to work. Squeaky, he seemed like he was trying to be that comedic character, but I don't know. It's so hard to describe.
Moving on to another issue of this movie, it's 2 hours long, and a lot of people would say, well, that's sufficient, but I kind of feel this movie is very rushed in its pacing. Is particularly around the midsection to the end. That's when it really starts kicking in. There's just snappy, constantly thrusting you forward. And for a lot of people, that's going to be a good thing. They'll never get bored or anything. But there are certain things that needed a little bit more time to breathe in this movie to really register certain things. They just rush over important emotional beats, like Micah Monroe trying to stop Bill Pullman from getting on the spaceship. Everything's caught up in one constant flow instead of pausing for stuff that you would like to emphasize a bit more, little bit more breathing room to build up a bit of tension here and there. It definitely feels like the movie was originally 2 hours and 20 minutes or something, and they told them, no, you got to get the crap under 2 hours. And I had an example whenever I was watching the movie. How did you feel about the pacing of the movie?
I think you're spot on, because once you get to the actual battling of the aliens, it's clear on. It's Independence Day movie, clear on in, and that's why I pretty much enjoyed it, because I thought that was a positive to it. But yeah, you're right that he doesn't get that emotional connection with Whitman and his daughter in that particular scene that it's supposed to. But
one example I can definitely think of off the top of my head is the fake out where you think Liam Hemsworth and Dylan Hillard didn't make it out of the mothership. They didn't play that short enough or long enough. They played it like in the middle, and it didn't play right.
it did feel weird.
That's a good example of the awkward pacing where everything's just flowing at the same pace when they probably should have paused it a little bit more, dragged it out a little bit more. They didn't even have time to bring the music down and just focus on the two side characters in their cockpit. Just let you hear the sound effects and the atmosphere of their cockpit as they think their friends are dead. And then just when you think they're giving up hope, all of a sudden you hear them over the intercom and then a swell of music kicks in. Instead, they barely have time to dip their heads, and then all of a sudden it's immediately relieved the tension. I feel like there's a lot of moments like that in the movie. They needed to just let it breathe a little bit more. Just give this movie one more pass in the pacing department, particularly when you're trying to connect with these new characters.
They should have got Michael B. Jordan to play Dylan. Sorry to that other guy. That's just my opinion. But whatever.
And the action scenes themselves, while there are fun elements in them, what do you think about the music in this movie? They don't use a theme song. They have hints towards the main theme song, but they only use it at the end credits.
They used it like one time, and I can't remember at what part in the movie it was. It was kind of like slowish or something. Yeah, the music wasn't too good. You're right. The music wasn't as what it needed to be.
You need that perfect blend.
They needed what's his name to work on it. What's that guy's name? Ramaja or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The one who made remember we looked him up one time? He did the soundtrack for Pacific Rim.
In Pirates of the Caribbean, he wrote the main theme secretly.
And he secretly wrote Iron Man. He worked on Iron Man soundtrack, and we deciphered that he came up with that theme for Iron Man. They never used it again in none of the Iron Man movies.
Yeah. They needed another pass on the action scenes to get just the right amount of... Because you know how exciting these kind of action scenes can be, where you're cutting between people in cockpits reacting to fighter situations, and I never was really in it with these actors, with these young pilots, but they could just go back to their acting that we had problems with.
I think that sequence was a little too short for me. I think that should have been extended a little bit more.
Yeah. I didn't have time to feel the layout of the battle. At one point, I thought Hemsworth blew up, and they cut back to him.
They did like a quick thing where like Dylan had like one of them chasing him, and Hemsworth came from the front and then told him like this is gonna collide. And he told him to bank, and then he shot between his ship and killed the thing behind him. But I don't know. It was too short, and it wasn't as good as the first movie one.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun with a well-edited fighter pilot sequence. A lot of fun, a lot of tension with great music and cutting back and forth. I love just people yelling about stuff that's happening around them with music swelling and then cutting back to the action as it's happening. Like, you got one on your tail. I can't shake it. I can't shake. Really good performers in a cockpit in front of a green screen can do wonders with that. And the actors weren't really bringing it. These young actors. And they have a hero lineup of them at the end of the movie. All the young actors standing there all proud like, hey, we're going to be the next generation of Independence Day stars.
Nah, cuz. Sit down. Yeah, it makes you think, man. This what we sacrifice everything for this generation? That's what the president should have said, something like that.
We needed more fun with those characters. We needed to establish that this new generation in the world, like a little bit more time with somebody who's outside of the ESD, where we can see that life is flourishing now again on Earth. Like, have a character that's outside of the program.
Yeah, they didn't start... They started with those kids after the disaster. That's when we got introduced to the kids.
We needed them before.
We needed them... Yeah. That's another problem right there. We needed them before, see them.
We need the spirit of what we're fighting for, and everything is just militaristic-like throughout the whole movie. Yeah, we need to know what's
going on.
What were you defending here? Show some heart there. Like, even a scene of Micah Monroe, Bill Pullman's daughter, saying goodbye to Liam Hemsworth before he goes up to his space program or something. Open up with them and do that whole Armageddon Bruce Willis doesn't approve thing with Bill Pullman breaking in on them like, what are you doing with my daughter? Crazy bearded Bill Pullman whacking Liam Hemsworth with a cane.
That would have been great.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Other than that, it's still enjoyable. It's still an Independence Day movie. If you're a fan of the first one, you'll definitely love this one.
Yeah, it lets you cheer. I cheered for some of the older actors in this movie. Jeff Goldblum brings it in this movie. It was great.
Of course, he brings it in everything.
Does a couple of funny screams and he pees himself at one point. And they don't show it though.
Oh, it was great because in the trailer you hear Jeff Goldblum say the line, "This one's definitely bigger than the last one," and then there's a scene where it cuts to his dad calling him. He's like, "David, this is bigger than the last one." So it was funny.
They're on the wavelength. I didn't get that post-credit scene where that guy, what's that guy's name?
Oh, his co-worker from the first movie?
His co-worker from the first movie, somehow alive.
Oh my God, David, I'm in the ocean.
David! David!
Ah.
There's no post-credit scene on this. So if you listen to this whole spoiler podcast...
Don't try to sit through if you don't want to sit through. I'll give it 4 stars, man. I really enjoyed it. I definitely want to see it again a few more times and buy the Blu-ray. Oh, it's just those young actors. That's the only downfall of this movie right now, I can believe, to bring it down.
Mixed bag. I would still recommend it for seeing the new technology. Veteran cast still bringing their A game and having a few fun moments and some nice production design. As long as you can deal with the fact that it doesn't take as many good breathers with the characters as it probably should have, and the pacing is a little rushed in places just to get through the movie. And the Teal. So if you can live with that, there's some fun to be had with these characters. I wish the machete guy had gotten one more payoff, but other than that, a slight recommendation.
Should we talk about these other June films quite quickly? We're at 2 hours.
Ooh-wee.
Just quick. All right, we saw Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows as well, y'all.
All right, quick general thoughts on a bunch of movies.
Turtles Out of the Shadows. I thought it was ridiculous. I didn't like it.
Is that your whole?
I thought it was ridiculous. I forgot what I said something that you was like, put that on a poster. I remember that. Was that for this movie?
It must have been
for Turtles. I remember what I didn't like was that it's sticking with the Turtles now. Like, okay, that's cool and all. But the villains got this plot line where they got to go find something for some other villain that we really don't care about.
You don't care about Krang?
No. They make Bebop and Rocksteady, and when they're supposed to go steal the first piece of the thing, the Turtles don't show up to fight them. They only fight Bebop and Rocksteady one time in this movie, and I was just disappointed with that.
And they kind of just got tackled off a plane and go down a river.
Yeah, they don't even really have a actual fight sequence with them.
Instead, those two just end up chasing Casey Jones through a parking lot, and Casey Jones only wears his hockey mask one time in this movie.
Yeah, that's another big complaint. Casey Jones wears his hockey mask just one time. If y'all are Casey Jones fans.
Casey Jones in name only.
Yeah, pretty much. He's a cop in this movie, which is not how it is at all.
Supposed to be a vigilante, whooping up on people. And then Megan Fox is investigating TCRI, or is it TGRI in this one?
It's TCRI.
TCRI. She's investigating that at the beginning of the movie for reasons that we don't know, and she seduces Tyler Perry, this poor Tyler Perry.
She puts on her porn star act like she always does throughout the movie. That's all Megan Fox did.
Now, Tyler Perry, he knew what movie he was in, and I thought he was one of the best parts of this movie.
You thought he was one of the best parts of this movie?
I really did enjoy Tyler Perry.
He was all right to me.
He was just going completely zany with his performance, and I admired it so much. Like,
this is gonna be fun.
He's just like so giddy, like he had a blast on the set or something. And I can respect that. He's at the same level that Dr. Data is at, but for some reason I accepted more in a Ninja Turtles movie than an Independence Day movie.
Yeah, I'd give Outer Shadows 2 stars.
Yeah, the CGI is still a little bit weird with these bulked up turtles, and it's all gritty looking, but now everything is more zany and cartoon-like with their vehicle that has giant nunchuck arms and interstellar aliens coming down with their technodromes and Mikey constantly pulling out his jetpack skateboard, flying around through the air with it, and just colliding with other aircraft. Oh man, it's completely over the top, but I can respect it a little bit more than the first movie because you didn't have to watch Megan Fox doing whatever she was doing for the first 25 minutes like you did in the first movie.
Yeah.
Instead, you start immediately with the turtles jumping around through the city. I have to give it props for that. Put enough budget into it to do that and to introduce all these elements that people love from the cartoon. And if you can get on board with the silliness of this, I guess I could give it a slight recommendation, but it's still not fantastic. There's a certain element to it that I really like, which is Mikey and Raph's struggle in the movie, their story about how they want to fit in, particularly Mikey. This is Mikey's movie, which I was happy with that's a twist. It's not usually about Mikey. Michelangelo wants to go out into the real world, and it's about his brothers one of them's trying to protect him in one way, and the other is trying to protect him in another, and it causes a division again, and they get back together after there's not even a montage for them to get back together. They just go from an action scene where they decide, well, maybe we should split up. They talk about it on the plane. Then you cut back to the sewer lair, and the Technodrome's attacking, and it's like, let's go, guys. Like, okay. We just cut that subplot out completely. And there's another cool element, the subtitle element about coming out of the shadows, where they're being discovered, and they thought they were freaks. Like, they got held up in that police station, and then they had to negotiate with the police. I like that they did a little Spider-Man 2-ish thing where the police acknowledge the Ninja Turtles, acknowledge that they need their help to beat the Technodrome, and they hide them from the public. So the police keep the secret of the Turtles, which I kind of like. So they're out of the shadows. People know, but they're going to protect their identity.
Enough for me. But I understand what you're saying.
Well, yeah, like I said, I like the elements of it, but I can slightly recommend it to people who enjoy the first one and wouldn't mind it getting a little bit more silly, who like it when Bebop and Rocksteady check out each other's penises after they transform.
Oh my God.
And they like the fact that Megan Fox can just stroll up behind Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, and a ninja.
And just take something to go away.
And run away. And how Casey Jones finds Bebop and Rocksteady because after they escape, they go to their favorite bar, and no other cops thought to look at this favorite bar for Bebop and Rocksteady. Casey Jones just shows up there. So there's a lot of stupid, but there's a lot of goodwill, slightly, towards the 80s cartoon people. And they even close off the movie with a remix of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles song from the 80s cartoon.
They didn't earn that in this movie. But
They didn't really earn it, no. It's a slight recommendation if you like the first movie and the cartoon and you think you would be okay with the silliness. But me personally, it's not what's up.
Yeah, 2 stars for me. Didn't really care for Out of Shadows. Next movie we saw was Warcraft. So we got a friend, Whit. He plays World of Warcraft like crazy. Probably played Warcraft 2, and Warcraft 3. So he was excited for this, and he said he liked it. Me and Andrew just couldn't get into this movie.
We were at the top, and there were only 2 other gentlemen, and they were pretty low, and we kind of mystery science theatered this movie in the back.
We did.
We were constantly making little jabs at the movie.
It was like Andrew said earlier.
I had a fun time though because of that.
We had a fun time laughing at the movie, but you could have condensed. This entire movie could have been the prologue. Watching this movie felt like we had already gotten an extended universe of a set of movies, and this was supposed to be a prequel to a more exciting story.
To elaborate on what Raymond was saying there, basically, like, we've already had our introductory movie where they actually explained how the universe works. They had a story where we cared about, and then they went back to stuff you already knew about, and they just act like, well, you already know about this, so we're not going to explain it, and we're just going to show you it.
Like, apparently that baby that gets born, he's got a much better story where he grows up in internment camps and stuff, and this is like a prequel to that. Because it ended like a prequel where they find the baby. Oh, it's... Warcraft fans, don't be mad at us, but It did good in China. Y'all pretty much are going to get a sequel, and I hope the sequel's a lot better than this.
Raymond, the editing in this movie is a mess. And Warcraft is a mess. Admit it.
Yeah.
It's a complete mess. They don't... like, when choosing what to cut, they cut 30 to 40 minutes out of this movie, apparently, according to the director. And in choosing what to cut, they cut essential stuff.
There's no character development either.
Yeah.
Characters don't like each other.
A quick example would be Lothar, or Luthor,
whatever his name is.
The soldier, the queen is his sister and blah, blah, blah. That guy, he had a son in the movie, and the only time we really see an interaction between them is at the beginning where he says, Dad, in an awkward way. And then he goes to see him in a tent whenever he's injured. And then that's just supposed to pay off whenever the son gets killed.
Yeah.
But they never establish a bond. And Lothar even gives us backstory that we were never given in the movie. Like, oh, if I wasn't so harsh on him, he shunned me. Apparently there was supposed to be animosity between them. There was either poor direction or poor editing. Because you could have still established this in the same amount of time with that dad line at the beginning. Like, Lothar looks at him and says, hey, and then he said in the movie, Dad. He said it like in a happy kid way. All he had to do was just change the way he said that and have one shot of him staring at him, like giving him the stank eye or something. Like say, Dad. Just change the way he said that line, and you could still establish, oh, there's some beef between him and his son. Even that little amount of effort kind of escapes, and it's kind of systematic of the problems with the movie. No, it's kind of, representative of a lot more of the problems of the movie, sir, in my opinion. Especially with the human characters and how they act.
I watched the video on the history of World of Warcraft, and there was just so much stuff that you literally could have started somewhere else, some of the more exciting parts of the franchise. This just really wasn't what was up. The closest character I liked died. My favorite character in the movie was the Durotan, the orc, the main orc guy.
Yeah.
I liked his story arc. I liked him. He was good. The orcs are better than humans in this movie, in my opinion.
It really should have focused on the orcs, if you're going to focus on somebody.
The CGI was good. I guess after Avatar, they can make it like this, huh?
Yeah.
But it seemed a lot better because it wasn't like neonish colors. It was nice. I don't know, man. I'm going to have to go with a 1 star for this movie.
I still got more to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
He's about to lay into it. My apologies, everybody.
Okay,
go ahead,
Game of
Andrew.
Thrones opens every single episode with a gosh darn map.
Oh, shit.
Lord of the Rings, first movie, gave you a map. Where is my map in this movie?
Andrew?
Give us a map of all the lands and give us a Glenn Close voiceover, since she's the mystical person halfway through the movie that shows up in some cosmic cube that you don't even set up. Like, what? Now we're supposed to care about this guardian floating city with a cosmic cube in it all of a sudden? It is so reliant on you already knowing what everything is, and it's so bad for newcomers to the series. You're watching this for the first time. I can't imagine what a normal person would think of this movie, Raymond. How do you decipher this movie with all these names being flung out, all these locations, and they don't even constantly refresh you with subtitles about where you are? It's like, you better remember it from the first time.
They don't.
And then they reveal stuff, and I remember you saying that they're repeating explanations.
Oh, yeah, he talked to his sister, and he was like, oh, it's because you're my sister. And then when she goes and talks to Garona in a prison cell, Garona says, I can defeat your mate. And she's like, no, that's my brother. It's like, oh, well, we already knew that. So why you just cut the first one and just leave us with that one?
Yeah. It's surprising because you cut out stuff that seems essential, like Paul Patton agreeing to help the soldiers and being suited up.
They just cut to her getting suited up to help them. It's like, wait a minute. She was just in prison. What happened?
Like, she didn't agree. She was still resilient the last time we saw her. There wasn't even people eyeballing like, huh? Or anything like that to hint at it. We just... It just seems like a bunch of the actors, the human actors, are just playing dress-up in this movie. And they're not really acting very well. It's very stilted, the way their performances are a lot of the time. And unconvincing.
Yeah. What I said? I said 1 star for this?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Oh, I still got more to say.
Damn, Andrew, I don't even remember most of this movie.
And just the gaps, the editing gaps. Like you had this plot that you started off at the beginning with the gun. Lothar built one gun from the dwarves, and he used it in battle, and he proved its effectiveness by shooting off the hand of an orc. And then nothing comes to that, and he hides it behind his back in the detention cell scene. And then at the end of the movie, all of the soldiers have these guns.
Yeah.
Clearly there's a connecting scene where Lothar suggests, hey, you should go pay the dwarves a visit. And then it's like a surprise, like, oh, wow, they have all these guns to help them in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of connective tissue and character moments and stilted acting that is sabotaging the story. You're getting hit by nothing but nonstop, fast-paced plot without any breathing room for story and characters. Or explanations.
Oy.
And they tip their hand on the villain very early on. When spell check, you remember the character that I can't know his name? Like his name is like Cadbury or something like that.
Oh, the main villain?
No, the wizard that could.
Oh,
the one that Luthor was such a bad. I didn't like Luthor at all. He was just being so mean to this young wizard. Luthor constantly has his attitude. Like I didn't like Luthor. Like you could kill Luthor, I wouldn't care.
It's ridiculous.
And then he had this random romance that came out of nowhere with Paula Patton's character. They had a conversation in front of the campfire where the young wizard spilled his guts out. That was his emotional scene about how he was offered up as a sacrifice by his parents to the Guardians, and they kind of shunned him and didn't teach him well or whatever the fruit. That was his moment, and somehow Paula Patton and Luthor bonded, and then he threw her a spear at one point, and then she was like, I'm in love with this guy.
It was so weird. Apparently, the Guardian is supposed to... Like, you should have had a prologue explaining, okay, this is the Guardian defends the realm for generations. Apparently, Witt was telling me that Glenn Close is supposed to be his mother, the Guardian's mother, and she was the original Guardian.
I assume she was important.
Yeah.
But
she was supposed to be the original Guardian. Yeah, it needed explanation. You need to just quickly set up the universe of the characters, tell us, and then give us a storyline.
Yeah. I kept referring
to do that,
and I kept referring to the young wizard as like spell check.
Yeah, because
he said that. Did he say that at one point?
He said, "Cover your mouth, spellcaster." He said it like that. Lothar said it to him. The way he said it was like, "Cover your mouth, spellcaster." And so he's like, "Oh, spell checker? Spell checker's his name?"
And he's constantly reading books, and I'm like, "Look, he's spell checking things,
spell checking everything."
And then Medivh comes in pretending like he's a good guy. He walks in and he's got all these papers, like he's like he's printing out papers for books.
This was funny when you told me this.
And he set them all on fire. And then everything goes quiet. I was like, he was spell checking those.
That was great.
I was spell checking those.
Oh man, he was spell checking those.
Poor spell checker, man. And then Medivh doesn't care about his book collection, man. He just slams spell checker into bookcases, knocking them all over. Rude. I'd call that poor direction, man. Like, would you really slam somebody up against, like, your Blu-ray collection and knock them all over the ground?
Slam somebody up against
you go against a bare wall. This is not character-motivated action right now.
Oh, yeah.
Knocked over all that man's
There's a random golem
Blu-ray
fight at the end.
Yeah, the guy goes barefoot, gets his feet stuck in the clay. And then you finally have the big showdown between the mutated orc and Luthor over the honor of the king. And then he just slides underneath him, cuts his penis off, and kills him.
Yeah. And it would have been great if we got hinted at the demons. I think the demon's name is Sargeras. The one who he turns into at the end there. One of the main villains of this entire universe. And they didn't explain it, or nobody hinted at it could be this guy. And it just happened. There wasn't no good prologue to explain the demons and whatnot.
I can agree that the visual effects are good. So good work on them. Good job bringing the world to life.
Yeah. It
was a cool reveal when you find out the old hunchover old Gundabad guy was faking it.
What's his name? The maid, that orc, the wizard orc.
Yeah, Gundabad's pretty close to what his name was. He's a Gundabad orc from the north.
Gundabad orc.
Foul Gundabad orc.
Oh my God, that's it. We found
Hobbit connection.
There it is.
They're from the Hobbit universe. They destroyed Middle Earth and they're coming through the portal to the World of Warcraft universe.
There it is.
Oh crap! Everybody dead.
Oh.
Sauron was destroyed.
Yeah, they're supposed to use these portals to find other worlds and take over.
Yeah,
and the demons, apparently they failed at taking over something, so that's why they corrupted the orcs. And they got the orcs to do their dirty work for them.
They had that weird one scene, half a scene prologue where they encounter a human in their world, the orc world. What was
in
that?
the very beginning.
Was that a metaphor for what's going to happen at the end of the movie with the duel?
Yeah, that was supposed to be...
That was a metaphor?
Oh, this is a duel. Look at this.
So
is
it
how
wasn't
they
real?
duel. No, it wasn't real.
Why the fruit would you put that in the movie?
I have no
There was
clue.
a time when man and orc didn't know each other. It was like, but we were always at war. It's like, that doesn't
That'll
make any
no
sense. Fruit. What am I hearing right now? Show me a map and say, this is where we going.
Give me the map.
Take 2 seconds. Point the camera at the ceiling, like Raymond said. There was a map on the
There's a
ceiling.
map on the ceiling, and they show for like a split second.
Yeah.
When she looked up, and she was like, "This is an orc world."
Do you really have to have CGI dwarfs? We've seen dwarfs so many times, not CGI. What the fruit? Why'd you need a CGI nose bridge?
Because they wanted them to look exactly like the video game style or video game style dwarves.
It'd be pretty heavy prosthetics, and it'd be pretty painful to put it on. But he wasn't in the movie that long anyway. You could have built a prosthetic,
None of them were.
nose bridge or whatever. Oh, man. And then they had the attempts at humor, but I wasn't understanding what was going on with the regular plot, and so they would just randomly throw humor at me. It was like, why are you throwing this joke at me? Why are you throwing this joke at me? I'm trying to process this information.
Care.
I don't care about your joke. And then the on-demand griffin showing up at the end. Like, the guy just jumped off a balcony and the griffin was there. It was like, was he already on the way, or did he just hope that happened?
Did you blow a whistle? We didn't see that
Yeah,
scene.
with the fruit. This is important stuff.
No, it's pretty ridiculous, y'all.
Oh, frick. Oh, there's got to be some more stuff
I don't know.
we can complain about.
I don't know anything else about it.
Was there any good fights in this, or war scenes at all?
Okay. When
The canyon sequence?
When Durotan, the canyon sequence was I didn't like that one because apparently the bad orcs were already like hiding in plain sight, like they already knew that
They
were
were
going to show up.
hiding under piles of rock.
Yeah, they were hiding under piles of rock. They just stood there and they let these people have a conversation. They let Durotan and the humans have a conversation, and then they decided to interrupt the conversation afterwards. I didn't like that at all. I like Durotan versus Gundabad, like you said. That was a nice fight sequence. I got so mad. I got so mad when what's his name showed up at the end, Lothor, and he was supposed to fight the guy who killed his son, and we did not get a good fight scene.
Yeah,
we did not get a fight scene.
That was the guy who slid under and cut the orc's penis off. And then stabbed him in the back like the machete guy did in Independence Day Resurgence. Spoilers.
Which is disgusting.
I know, but maybe somebody skipped to the Warcraft discussion. You never know.
You know, you gear me up here for a nice boss battle. It's like, oh, okay, now this is connected to that early prologue. They're about to have this ritualistic fight that we saw Durotan and the other guy have. It's going to be great. And it ended quickly. Now imagine Independence Day. And it ended it with the bomb going off and the queen dead. Would that have been... Oh, sorry.
Unless you didn't see it, because say you skipped to this.
I'm sorry. But you know how we were just talking about how they went all in. Warcraft didn't go all in. I want a boss battle. I want a fight sequence. Give it to me.
Like imagine Rogue One, where they get the plans, and that's it. Instead of Darth Vader showing up and fighting the blind guy. Oh wait.
Is he gonna fight the blind?
I don't know. It sounds
Probably
like fun.
not.
That'd be fun, wouldn't
It
it?
would be, but does that blind guy have a lightsaber or what?
He uses the Force. He's got a stick. He's gonna
He's
hit
Force
Darth Vader with a
sensitive.
stick. He's gonna whack him with a stick, and we know that works because we've established in Rogue One that people can hit people with helmets with sticks, and it'll hurt them.
Who got hit with a helmet with a stick?
Jyn Erso
With a
was hitting stormtroopers in their helmets with sticks and knocking them out. So we've established you can hit somebody with a stick.
This is ridiculous. What is ridiculous?
But back to Warcraft.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just weird. Poorly defined.
It pretty much was the prologue because in the storyline of not Warcraft but World of Warcraft, the Alliance is supposed to be, it's called that because it's not just humans, it's humans and elves and the dwarves and there's another species that's like a dwarves, but it's not dwarves. Not trolls. The trolls are on the hard side.
I think it's Tauros or something.
They got them and they got those people that died in the beginning, those blue creatures.
They're sucking the life force
out. I forgot what they're called, but they're supposed to be on the Alliance side too. Like that's what it was supposed to be, and then the Horde has the goblins and the orcs and the blood elves or whatever, and some other creatures. Like it just. Give me that movie. Where's that movie?
Yeah, there's not a lot of variety in this initial offering at the moment.
It's like we gotta set you up with the beginning.
Here's the stuff you've seen in a million other fantasies. It's humans and the orcs.
Have fun.
I mean, I guess they did a slight twist where both guys are really good at heart and they're trying to do the best for their people. And it's just, there's one obvious bad guy, the foul, corrupted orc, the green power orc. He's just messing with everybody. But at the end of the day, nobody got their comeuppance. A bunch of good characters sacrificed themselves for the greater good, but that guy's still out there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Goon to bed.
Is still, and he still got control of the Horde.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Nothing's resolved. So it's a prologue movie where they sent baby Moses off in the river to be discovered by the humans.
That was it.
And they established the love connection because Paul Patton had to betray the humans intentionally so she could take command of the orc tribe one day and hopefully bring peace. But none of the other humans know that because the king took it to his grave. So now there's going to be that tension because Luthor is now the new king and he has a past relationship with Paul Patton. So it seems pretty important to actually flesh out their relationship because it seems going forward this is going to be really important. If you're going to make it that shallow, once again, then this whole movie probably should have just been a prologue where you say they were in love in voiceover.
It was just ridiculous.
Messy, rush, underdeveloped, not a lot of great action, but good visuals, and I guess they brought the world to life very accurately and gave you the stuff that you want to see on the big screen for the people who liked the game. Not recommended at all.
Yeah, 2 stars.
Me. No.
So next movie was our annual Disney Pixar Finding Dory. Do we have to talk about the short film?
You want to talk about the short film? Piper?
Piper was all right.
It was just a pleasant movie about a little bird learning how to get out the nest. She gets out the nest for the first time by her mother to go get food. The shoreline, the beach washing up on shore. She's too ignorant to know to run away from the wave. She gets smashed, and then she's scarred for life. She's just scarred for life. Her mother tries to nudge her back out of the nest. She meets a nice little crab that digs itself into the sand. Piper follows suit. The bird follows suit. Tucks itself under just like the crab. Opens her eyes and sees where all the location of huge food is. And so she's learned a valuable new skill and how to overcome her fears from a friend of a different race.
There it is.
And she brings this newfound knowledge to her people, and she's become a young woman.
This sounds like a better movie than Warcraft right there.
It was a fully fleshed out movie.
under 5
no
minutes.
words spoken. Pixar drop mic. All right, fully fleshed out 5-minute little movie here. It was very nice, excellent animation, very nice and realistic environments, and cute. Just well-told story. It's pure visual storytelling. No words used at all, and it communicated a whole entire character arc effectively. Yep. So I guess it's brilliant.
Good short film. Finding Dory. Normally, Pixar with their sequel binge that they on right now, they don't do too hot. But Finding Dory was actually a pretty good sequel to Finding Nemo. Toy Story 2 quality of a sequel here. Toy Story 2 and this one is the only ones that I think are actually worthy sequels.
Not necessarily the same tone, though.
Yeah, not the same tone, but you know what I mean. They're actual good sequels to good movies. So yeah, Finding Dory was pretty cool. Dory remembering to find her parents. They go across the ocean. They go to the Marine Life Institute, meet Sigourney Weaver.
The best running joke in the movie. Hello, I'm Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver trying to tell us something.
Yeah, you get to meet some of the new cast. All the characters are nice.
Describe some that you like.
Oh, I love Destiny.
Destiny, the nearsighted whale.
The nearsighted whale, and what was the other whale's name?
Oh, I forgot what his name was.
That guy who
he
didn't
was
know
a
how to
white
use-
sonar, Ty Burrell's character.
He didn't know how to use his sonar, but he figured it out in the end. He could use it all along. They were fun characters.
You like the octopus or the septopus?
When I first saw it, I thought the octopus was going to turn out to be like the villain.
He did look pretty shady.
He was like,
at all costs to get to Cleveland, I thought he was going to turn on her.
But then he developed that heart. Like, I kind of got teared up whenever he got her to the open ocean exhibit. He's like, well, kid, this is your stop. She was like, oh, yeah, I had something for you. He gives her the tag, and then she just stares at it for a little while, and she goes, you know what? I think I'm going to remember you. And I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And he was like, oh, my God. He almost looked like he was about to cry, but then he had to hold back his tears.
And so he just
He did like a little blush kind of thing. Yeah, he lets it go. And then he comes back for it. And then they have that little thing at the end when they're in the truck. And she's like trying to explain to him. He's like, you know what? I'll go with you, kid. So, yeah, I was surprised that he did not turn out to be a villain. I was glad he didn't. He had a nice little story arc.
The only real villain is Circumstance.
Yeah, there is no villain
There's
in this
no
movie.
villain.
There's nothing. Yeah, it's just
A victim of circumstance.
things happen. Some things happen, and maybe that's what makes the movie actually good because there's no villain. It's just things happen, and now you gotta work through it.
Yeah.
You know, let's not blame. Don't point the finger. Now we gotta just work through it.
The villain is her own memory.
There it is. Ooh.
The villain is disability.
Oh God. That's right. Destiny had nearsighted, and an old boy had thing. Yeah, they got to rehabilitate these animals, all the sick animals.
Octopus missing one of his arms.
Yeah, he's a septopus.
Everybody's disabled in this facility.
A disabled crew here. They were fun. I don't know how y'all feel about the over-the-topness, but yeah, we did that in Toy Story 2 where they drove the car and everything.
That's when it's really pushing it.
The end of this movie, they're not in the ocean. The end of this movie, they are on the highway.
The septopus is driving a vehicle.
He's driving a big-ass truck. And
down the interstate.
Dory is in a water bottle trying to direct him. But it worked out okay. There wasn't much. Marlin, I guess... Marlin and Nemo really didn't discover anything about themselves. Marlin, all he discovered was that he was a little too hard on Dory.
Well, it was kind of the same thing from the first movie.
Yeah, and Nemo
they
was
repeated it.
You just didn't let her do it herself.
You didn't believe in her.
Yeah,
and that was his
Nemo
whole
got
arc.
mad.
That was his whole arc in the first movie. He kind of regressed in this movie.
Ooh.
Because it was all about him not believing in Nemo.
Well, this time he's got to believe in Dory.
He's got the same thing, basically.
He did regret, because at the very end of the movie, he still doesn't trust Dory. He follows her.
He followed her anyway.
To the edge of the thing.
Oh, it's like, oh, I'm happy that it worked out, but you still didn't trust her.
But she's kind of the special needs fish, so he's got to be there. He's got to be there.
If he had swam away, it would have been but at the same time, you want them to be together for the, I don't know. It's a tough call, but if he had swam away, he would have learned his lesson. Leave her be and see if she comes back.
So yeah, I guess the only gripe was Marlin and Nemo didn't have much to do except for chase down Dory.
They're just the excuse for the Finding Dory part of the movie.
Yeah.
And she's just...
Well, I guess the Finding Dory part is Dory finding herself, I guess, and the inside, her family.
That metaphor.
That metaphor,
though.
So I guess that's what it was.
Are you offended about how they treat retarded people in this movie?
What? You mean mentally?
The mentally handicapped in this movie.
What you mean? Who got treated wrong?
That poor seal.
Oh. Oh my God. Why do you assume that seal was mentally handicapped? Because he didn't say any words?
The fact that he had very thick eyebrows.
He had thick eyebrows make you mentally
cross-eyed, constantly staring forward, with huge buck teeth sticking out of his mouth, and can't say a word. Like,
he just wanted to get up on the thing. He had a pail that they took from him.
Like, and they were yelling obscenities at him, like, Riri, 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 Riri.
They would tear it off. They would tell him to get off the rock.
Mm-hmm. You know what they were really saying.
They took his pail from him and used it for Becky.
They used him.
I guess Becky could be a mentally
so many mentally handicapped and disabled people in this movie.
The bird, the duck, or whatever that was,
and how they can have friends and live a fulfilling life.
Mm-hmm. It was at a hospital. It was at a fish hospital, so I guess it makes sense. I don't know. He just shows up, starts touching that thing.
That was a nice bit of the coolest moment was the discovery inside of all the kelp of the huge labyrinth of shells that the parents had laid out for Dory.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite moments in the movie. The fact that they had gotten out of the facility and they just spent every day going out in the ocean searching for more shells and just constructing this massive web in hopes that she would find her way back. I kind of really liked that.
Yeah, that was cool.
The tone of the movie is not quite as energetic as the first movie.
That's just emotion heavy right here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another part where I got like a little teary-eyed. I can't remember.
Dory's constantly having her Horcrux flashbacks.
Release! Release! They all start chanting, release! Because he tries to tell them about the Sigourney Weaver told her to release.
It was an awkward sound choice whenever the truck's going off the interstate into the water.
I see trees in light, red roses too.
I see them bloom for me and you.
Yet I think to myself. There's Sigourney Weaver voices over and release. What a wonderful world.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. It kind of started very abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
It's got something that you really like in movies, sir, where they pay off everybody's attributes at the end during the climax. Everybody pitches in and does their part.
Yeah.
Uses their abilities. Lucius Fox shows up. He uses his sonar vision. Omnium Beta.
If you want me to be at the Marine Institute, I won't be. Type in your name. And it'll be good.
As long as this whale is in this ocean, I won't be.
It was nice. It was well put together, very motion heavy. It was one of the better sequels they've done. I liked it better than University and Cars 2 and what other sequel did? What was the last? Oh, I liked it a lot better than Inside Out and Good Dinosaur. I'm about to say Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very nice follow-up. It's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's outstanding. There's something about it that makes it feel slight, but at the same time, I agree, it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about it that doesn't make it seem like entirely necessary. It feels almost like a step above a direct. Well, it's definitely a huge leap above a direct-to-video, but story-wise, it feels like it's in that territory.
Seems like
it's a nice little epilogue.
They thought of the story, and it was supposed to be the actual prequel, whereas a little baby Dory being lost in the ocean, and then somebody said, "Well, no. We've already done that. Let's continue the story and have her go back and try to find her parents." And that's what made it better. So you got the Dory prequel, but you still going forward.
That was very sad, the baby Dory.
Sad baby Dory? What you mean?
It feels so bad for her. How's it survive all these years?
Somehow she survived, man. She got a guardian fish out there somewhere that protected her.
Yeah. We
got to discover this guardian fish in the third one.
I really liked Ed O'Neill as the Septopus.
He was good. Everybody, I'm tired of people saying that everything's okay. Everything's not okay. Everything's okay. That security guard turns around. I like that part.
You get some more lore, like, oh, my parents taught me the just keep swimming line.
Mm-hmm. Just keep swimming. I thought I made it up, but no, they told me this.
You got John Ratzenberger. Making his usual Pixar cameo. This time he was cutting his lawn in the movie.
Oh, that's who it was? That's why you laughed? I didn't know who it was.
It was John Ratzenberger, the voice of Ham in the Toy Story movies. He shows up in all of the Pixar movies. He's a good luck charm for them.
Oh.
And he showed up as a little crab. They modulated his voice so it wasn't exactly the same. But he was cutting his lawn like, hey, how's it going? you know it's John Ratzenberger when you hear, hey, how's it going? Hey. Why didn't you say so?
Other than that, yeah, I give it 4 stars. It's a very good.
It was not
something to take the kids to see. It's good.
It was cool to explore that marine wild aquarium.
The setting is nice.
They just completely gloss over a whole entire ocean.
It's like we've already been in the ocean. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the best parts was Crush. So if you gotta puke, go out the back and go for distance.
Yeah, Crush makes a cameo and helps him get to the other side of the ocean real quick. That was good. Who else made a cameo? Oh, Mr. Ray, the Stingray in the beginning.
And then let's not spoil it, but just say that my favorite part of the movie, and that's not a slight on the movie because the movie's quite good. My favorite part of the movie is the post-credits scene.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite part of the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, if you're listening to this, stay to the end of the credits on video or in the theater. Watch the end of the credits. It's a nice little treat for people who enjoy Finding Nemo, the original movie.
There you go.
They brought something back. I'm not going to say what. And I was really surprised that they brought out the resources to do this, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, just for this scene.
But whenever it starts, don't read the credits because it'll spoil it for you.
Oh, yeah, don't read the credits. See, I wasn't paying close enough attention to the credits. They'll spoil the whole thing. Don't read the credits, but sit through them.
Yeah.
Look at the background and all the kelp and the fish going around.
Yeah, don't read the credits. But yeah, I give it 4 out of 5. It was very enjoyable. One of the best Pixar ones that they've done in quite a while. Actually, I can't remember the last one I've ever enjoyed. Shit, it's been so long.
Must have been Toy Story 3. Or Brave.
Wall-E was probably the last one I enjoyed.
Oh, way back then.
I remember not liking Ratatouille at first, but Ratatouille grew on me.
That definitely grows.
After Wall-E, was it Toy Story 3? Oh, there was Up. I didn't really care for Up that much. I thought Up was okay.
Well, we've had the discussion on the previous podcast about what you think about all the previous movies, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Refer to our Inside Out one, our Good Dinosaur one.
Yeah.
I most enjoyed this one a lot.
Finding Dory, solid recommendation for me as well on that one.
All right. I have to talk for 2.5 hours, longer than the Independence Day movie.
Well, we had a special request.
Oh, we did have a special request. Oh, it's something else we need to talk about, too.
Okay.
Special request was from a good fan, Noah. We want to know how we felt about Uncharted 4. Because, you know, it came out, like, way last month. I liked it.
All right.
I'm trying to think. I don't want to get into so spoiler territory, but it was a solid little conclusion to the Nathan Drake story. But that's it. I liked it. Go ahead.
I really enjoyed the scenes and the action and the gameplay all in the moment. But as I got a platinum trophy on it, so you know I at least liked the game. I platinumed the sucker. The one thing I'll say is that I don't think it has great replay value as a video game because of the enormous amount of front-heavy cutscenes. There are so many cutscenes at the beginning of this game. A video that I really enjoy is the Prereq guys, Rich Evans from Red Letter Media, in their video game show called Prereq. They uploaded a video called The First 4 Hours of Uncharted 4, and they cut it down to just 7 minutes. And you just see how unbelievably bored they are. And at one point, Rich Evans just screams, "Let me do something in your game!" Like he's just losing his mind because he wants to play a video game. And instead, he's watching a movie. And that's something you got to get used to at the beginning of this game. For huge sections of the game, it's just very long cutscenes. It's a good story. It's well-paced. And they're giving you a lot of character and stuff. But I do agree with them that I wish that they could have somehow implemented it into gameplay. Having said that, there are certain things that I wish they'd taken out of gameplay that are story-related, like that swimming level at the beginning, where they do that fake-out, where you think you're diving for treasure.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, you're getting cargo.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it works once. Like, oh, what's
That's supposed to get you used to the underwater mechanics, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's kind of really drawn out, and it's just for a gag. But if you go back and you're trying to find all the trophies in the game or platinum the game to get trophies, that section is just, oh man, I have to slog through this again. Like, is there a way to skip level? Is there a skip level button?
What's the skip level?
Because all you do is just kind of swim in a straight line. You press the button on stuff. You move it from one side. A lot of backtracking back and forth around the canister.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the best elements of the game for me are the new rope mechanics, the upgraded stealth system, and I really love how the combat plays, and I wish there was... I know there are a lot of people who don't agree with me, but I wish there was more of it. Like, just more open areas like in Madagascar where you can just plan out and just have a playground to do whatever you want. Like, just jump from the top of the tower, swing, and just knock out a guy, and then you're back in stealth mode. Like, no one saw that.
I tell you what upsets me is that in the multiplayer, you can charge up that hook, and you can smack people with it. You can't do that in the campaign.
That's nice.
Very upsetting.
That is nice.
I just wanted you to know. I guess they don't want you to auto-kill all the enemies. But I would have liked that in the campaign. They want you to have the fist fights with the enemies. That's why. Whatever. But yeah, that's Uncharted 4.
Yeah, it's a little light on the action for me, which decreases its value as a video game in my eyes. It's kind of a mixed entertainment. It's not really a passive movie. It's not heavily interactive. Like, it's pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Angry Joe play in the video game, and the guy was having some horrible difficulty aiming at people, and so he turned on the auto lock on and used it for the rest of the game.
Damn.
And they put that in the game for special needs people who have trouble, like, playing with one hand and stuff like that. And this man who's fully capable decided, heck, I don't really care about the gameplay. I just want to get to the story. So, yeah, I guess there are a lot of people who really just love it for the story, but I wish...
Could have put it... Don't they have Explorer mode for this one, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should just put it on Explorer mode.
I guess people just want the story of the game.
Yes.
But I kind of want a game, too.
There you go.
And it really doesn't kick in until the midway point that you start getting open-level designs where you're fighting people. And even then, it's only a one-off because there are people who just want to see the story. And so they don't send in reinforcements like they used to in the other games, particularly Uncharted 1, where they're constantly sending in reinforcements, and you're like, oh man, I gotta roll around, and I gotta get more ammo, and here they come, and it's less a video game this time around. And that's a shame, because I really like the new sliding mechanics and the new rope mechanics and stealth mechanics, and I wish it was more like Uncharted 1, where there's so much more playable areas with these new mechanics. So I enjoyed the game a lot in the moment. I enjoyed the story. It's a nice little bow on top. But I wish you had more game in the game.
Understandable.
But I still recommend it.
One of my gripes, though, I think I talked to you about this, talked to Whit, I can't remember.
Yeah.
There was no big set piece in the game like they have in the other games. You start off in the first game, you got the chase sequence in the jungle with the cars, and then you got the jet ski sequences, and then second game you got the train sequence, which is the most famous for the whole series. Then the third game you get the boat and the airplane, and in this one,
and then the jumping from horses to horses one too.
Yeah, and in this one you just get the one chase sequence, and there's nothing
through
else.
The favela or whatever it is.
And there was another sequence in the game where a building's falling down, but that one didn't last long at all. Like, it wasn't high enough for you to enjoy having to go down more with it. There was just no big... That's one of my big gripes with the game, was there was no big action set piece for the game.
In addition to being more cutscene heavy than gameplay heavy, one thing that added to that feeling was there's a lot of Last of Us in this game. You could tell that the Last of Us people made this, because a lot of the game is just you running around looking for crates to push up while you're chatting with your partner, whoever you're with.
Chatting it up.
Like, oh, we got to figure out how to get this crane moving. Oh, we got to find how to get that crate down.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a bonding discussion. So they kind of stall the gameplay and force you to do menial tasks while they have character development, where characters are getting to know each other. And it was intentional from the director. The director said, like, how else are you going to get people to bond if you don't have them helping each other up ladders and pushing crates and stuff? So it was a lot of character development happens with you just doing bland tasks.
Yeah.
Solving very minor linear puzzles. Oh no, I'm sorry. I think you're just tired, sir. Or...
No, I just thought about something else we gotta talk about here.
Oh, okay.
Earlier this week.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4.
Yeah, Uncharted 4 recommended, but there are a lot of stretches without actual challenging gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Actual, video game play.
Shots fired.
A lot of it is just you pushing the stick forward while listening to people chat about things going on.
Copy that. Earlier this week.
Are we supposed to talk about stuff we liked in the Uncharted 4 story at all?
I guess we've said enough about Uncharted.
What do you think about the brother? What do you think about the brother?
I don't give a shit about Sam. Shit.
You don't care?
He all right.
The whole story's about
dick,
Sam.
That dick. We was getting ready to get off the island. That dick had to do something stupid.
What about not being able to punch Nadine? Or kill Nadine at the end of the...
Who, us? The character?
Yeah. You can't punch Nadine.
You talk about whenever we get into those fights with her?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't punch
They
her.
introduce a fight mechanic of counters and punching in the prison sequence, and then they take it away because, you can't actually have an actual fight with Nadine with counters and stuff. Like, I'm seeing her winding up her kicks, and I know that the triangle button is supposed to counter, but I can't counter her because, it's scripted. She's an empowered female, and she's going to kick my butt no matter what.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, and I guess that goes along with your cutscene of a gameplay thing.
Yeah, like, why even let me play this if he's going to get his butt kicked no matter what?
They didn't want a man to hit a woman, sir.
That's no woman. She was a war machine. And she needed to be stopped. She needed to be taught a lesson. You saw how cocky she was? Like, you can't make a villain character that cocky and sure of herself and not have me want to punch that person.
There you go.
Whether it's a man or a woman. Like, she's coming up in my face like, yeah, I can take both you and your brother on. It's like, okay. Like, I really want to hit you now. You're a villain.
She is...
There's no gender here. That's gender equality right there.
It is, but...
Give her a taste of gender equality. But not in real life, fellas. Don't hit women in real life.
I was also upset that prologue that they had a daughter instead of a son.
The epilogue.
Thank you for correcting me. The epilogue.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
Because it doesn't, it's supposed to continue these adventures with Drake, and Drake continue his bloodline thing. So it's like, it's a daughter. She's obviously going to get married to a man, and they're not going to be Drake anymore. So that's sad.
Oh yeah, you ended the bloodline. You're right.
Yeah, the end of the namesake and everything. So that's why I didn't personally like the daughter at the end.
See, you actually have a good excuse.
Yeah.
Because everybody else was trying to come up, because they had that controversy about the guy standing, not you too, Naughty Dog, with your feminist crap. Like, I can't punch Nadine, and you gave her a daughter.
Yeah. That's my
and then
only
they
beef.
kicked him out of the meeting.
Yeah, they kicked him out of the room because this man voiced his opinion. But I think this is what he was trying to say.
But that's a good point.
This is my beef with it.
That's a good point. The Drake line ends.
The Drake line ends with her now.
Because Sam don't have anybody that we know of.
Yeah, Sam didn't have no kid or nothing. So I felt like it should have been a son. Or you could have played with the daughter and showed an older son somewhere come around. Just give them twins, make everybody happy. Just make them have twins, have a boy and a girl, goddamn. Make everybody happy. Shit. That should have been what you did. But I know some people be like, you sexist! And, nah, whatever. Those are my gripes with the game. No giant set piece and the daughter.
Like that Rafe, though.
Rafe was
I needed more Rafe.
Rafe was a cool villain, I admit. And I love his ending rant there when he fights Drake.
I've had everything handed on me. A goddamn silver platter. And there's also that background subplot with that old woman in the flashback where they're teaching a lesson about how you go off and adventuring where there's another adventure of settling down and being with your family, how she neglected her family and stuff. You find out you don't really get that full backstory unless you explore her mansion in that flashback chapter and read the letters about how she's neglecting the father and the daughter who really need her.
Oh.
And she's going off adventuring.
Okay.
There's this whole other thing that's parallel to what Drake could become if he just leaves behind his
Gotcha.
wife. There's an interesting subplot there.
Yeah, I like that part. I liked everything else about the game.
It's definitely a well-crafted overall entertainment piece.
Yeah, go ahead play it. Everybody go play it.
Yeah.
All right, let's back to Hollywood news. You
Less-
ready? You finished?
Small touches.
Finished with
Okay,
Uncharted 4?
back to movies.
Back to Hollywood news here.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, they released the teaser poster for the Power Rangers movie.
Oh my gosh, this is what you wanted to talk about?
That's what I want to talk about. This is what I want to talk about. Because look, I found this. Some people found this online. It's just a stock photo that they just altered. That's all it is. It's just a stock picture that they found.
Oh my gosh,
How
you
lazy is that?
serious?
That's what they found.
Now
yeah.
now when was the stock picture posted? Like, could they have shot this themselves and now they're just donating it?
Look at that. No, they ain't shot that themselves.
Are you sure?
I'm
When was
pretty
it
goddamn
posted?
sure. I don't know.
Maybe they're just sharing it. Like, this is too good of a picture just to use for the Power
That
Rangers
shit
poster.
ain't good. Why is this a Power Rangers poster? It's a road trip movie, like you said. How are we supposed to know this is Power Rangers?
It looks like Interstellar meets a road trip movie.
like I
Like
don't
the wonders of
understand.
the universe, and we're gonna discover it on a road trip with 5 teenagers with attitude.
Y'all know how much I love Power Rangers.
Oh my goodness.
This is ridiculous. This poster makes no sense. They're standing on top of a car. Why? Is there lava down there? The Red Ranger dead. Whoever's not standing on the car dead. Oh, that's what they do. They playing lava. Is that what I'm supposed to take away from this poster?
They're all just irresponsible. Oh, it's just a independent teenage movie trope that you have to stand on your car and yell at the sunset.
But if you're gonna do a shadowy figures like that, show them having fun. Like if they're gonna be at the beach or something, show them like playing with a volleyball or something. And if you got the stars in the sky, show there's like a threat. Show like eyes or something on the poster, like looking down or something. Do something to make me know. Okay, get me excited for your Power Rangers movie.
This is about optimism, sir. It's about optimism and looking to the stars.
What? So there's no villain in this movie?
No, there's no villain in this movie.
Together we are one. That's what the tagline is.
Together we are strong, we are better, or something. It's a riff on Hillary Clinton's campaign, where she says "stronger together" is her campaign slogan.
It's ridiculous, though. This is how I'm supposed to. Bryan Cranston is Zordon. I don't care.
He has a history with Power Rangers,
He
so
does
this
have a
could be a good
history.
thing. Yeah. Strong casting, I guess.
I don't know about all that. You going a little too far with that. I need to see a trailer for this movie. That's all that needs to happen. We need to see a trailer.
Bryan Cranston's head in a tube floating around.
Actual him, like I thought it was gonna make like their own CGI type Zordon, but it's actually gonna be his face without the beard and mustache. And stuff.
That's what I was thinking. It was just gonna
And
be
just
him
the
with a
bald
shaved head just floating in the tube.
That'd be great. All right, make that happen. But yeah, that poster don't get me excited. I hate it. That's a very bad thing if I don't like your poster. So, sorry. That's what I wanted to talk about. Oh, and R.I.P. Anton Yelchin, or whatever his name is.
Tragically murdered.
All right, I'm not touching that one. The man got out of his car.
We do not suspect foul play. The man got out of his car while it was in neutral and somehow did not notice it was moving on this steep cliff. I rest my case. Would you not notice that your car was rolling as you're stepping out of it? This man was murdered.
Supposedly, they have a
no journalistic integrity here.
The Ford
Madildo all the way. This man was murdered.
The Ford, whatever his type of Jeep was, had a malfunction to where it doesn't. You're supposed to put your car in park and the doors unlock. Well, he put his car, hit it in neutral, and the doors unlocked, and it wasn't supposed to do that apparently. And so that's how it went down. He stepped out and the car wasn't moving at first. Then it slowly started going down. I said maybe he was in a rush to go hurry up and grab that mail. Maybe he wanted to go watch an episode of Game of Thrones. Who knew?
I got to defend his honor. And
Right.
like he can't go out with a Darwin Award. He's got to go out like he was murdered.
Okay.
And we'll never know who did it.
We never know who did it.
We'll
Apparently,
never know who did it.
he saw something or heard something he wasn't supposed to know about, and just as them covering it up.
We got your back, Anton.
Rest in peace.
You're not going to get a silly award for your death. Instead, you died knowing something.
There you go.
No, but on a more serious note, it's disappointing because he's a bright young actor, around our age, and
Like a year younger than us, huh?
it's around our age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, and I enjoyed him in all the movies I saw him in, even stuff like Terminator Salvation. I enjoyed his performance in.
Oh, that's right. He was in Salvation.
Yeah, as Kyle Reese, I enjoyed him in that movie too, and as Chekhov, I enjoyed him. So Yeah, rest in
Pablo
peace.
David.
Rest in peace, man. All joking aside.
Whew. Anything else? Covered everything so far for the month of June, I guess.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
Guess we got to do our E3 podcast. Wake, wake, nudge, nudge.
Oh my gosh! Do you just want to?
No. I'm like,
no, you brought it up. You brought it up.
No.
Let's just say
it
something.
Was a joke. It was a joke.
Quickly.
It was a joke.
Quickly.
There's nothing I need to say.
Sony crushed it.
Okay. Sony crushed it.
Sony crushed it.
Everything else, don't care about everything.
Xbox voided their own console.
Oh.
Coming out.
They're the Slim. They voided their Slim.
But they got a great 4K Blu-ray player coming out in August.
Spider-Man game looks cool. Can't wait for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Look at all those zombies at once.
Oh, dog. What is it? The Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Those were some fine looking games right there. Can't wait to play those in the future.
South Park, solid butthole.
Fractured
had
butthole.
an amazing fractured butthole. Thank you, solid butthole. This fractured butthole
had
an amazing Marvel Cinematic Universe trailer
discussion. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
And a huge diss to DC in it that
To everybody.
I really enjoyed.
You go ahead on DC.
Your Cinematic Universe won't even get past phase 1, DC.
Yeah. So Titanfall 2 looks okay. Everybody else is excited for Battlefield 1.
Well, you didn't get to see the multiplayer event with
I saw some of
Terry
it.
Crews, Snoop Dogg, Zac Efron, and Jamie Foxx.
I want that movie right there. That with all them actors he named, I want a movie with them in it. Make it happen, somebody. Just Zac Efron with all these black guys for no reason. He's just there.
He's the token white guy.
Yeah, token white guy in this
There you
black
go.
movie. Okay. But yeah, E3 was okay this year. Nothing too fancy. Yeah, don't care about virtual reality. That's it. All right. We're done. Unless you got more.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, your turn. I'm sorry.
Xbox Scorpio claims it's going to play 4K at 60 frames per second. No. Even if it's using top-of-the-line PC technology, highly optimized in their games, it's going to be a stretch. Like, why aim for 4K at 60 frames per second with that much horsepower? Why not just do 1080 progressive, upscale it to 4K, and then actually have 1080 progressive 60 frames per second games, but with amazingly improved graphics? You're putting all that horsepower of the Xbox Scorpio into 4K when you could have an amazing bump in fidelity and texture resolution and quality, I don't know, bump mapping or whatever for just polygon counts and amount of things on screen and physics. You could dedicate so much of that horsepower to something else, all running at 1080 progressive 60 frames per second, which most people have. But instead, you're going to just have current quality graphics, but now at 4K and maybe reaching 60 frames per second. And to get to 60 frames per second, you might have to actually sacrifice some of the visuals.
Don't do that.
It seems like a tough sell. The PS4 Neo, whatever it turns out to be, the slight bump upgrade will give us current graphics at 1080 progressive 60 frames per second, and that seems good enough for most people who won't have 4K displays. So if you're going to have the same quality graphics at 4K as the PS4 Neo at 1080 progressive, then I don't know. It's not as tantalizing as Microsoft would like it to be, in my opinion. Put that horsepower to some good use. That's my opinion on the Scorpio. And the Neo, I guess. And Nintendo, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But that Zelda looked great. I mean, you streamed it so much, it had to look great. But you're doing some pretty cool things with the open world design and changing up the formula with breakable weapons and Dark Souls-like mentality. Looks interesting.
Dark Souls-like mentality? What you mean?
Well, the breakable weapons, and also you can get special potions that give you temporary hearts increases, and then they got special, like over 100 mini temples that they call shrines that are mini dungeon puzzles that you have to solve, and then you get special upgrades. You're infused with special powers. Like now you can create bombs out of thin air with one of the upgrades. Like you equip one upgrade at a time. Yeah, you got special powers in this game, like Aztec glowy symbol powers that infuse into you from these shrines, and you upgrade by going to other shrines and solving mini dungeons. So on top of the major dungeons, you got all these mini dungeons to solve, hundreds of them throughout this open world. They're doing some pretty interesting things.
Oh, that's gonna be on the NX.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, they confirmed slightly upgraded graphics on the NX.
Okay.
Launch title.
Well, I think that's it.
We literally covered everything we missed, I think.
For the past month or so.
Do you want to just give a quick yay or nay or star rating to Now You See Me 2 and Conjuring 2, just to wrap it all up?
Now You See Me 2, I would go with a 2-star on that. And Conjuring, I would go with a 4-star on that. Conjuring was not as scary as the first one, but it's still good. Had a lot of fun to it.
All right. Whew. Man.
We covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. Anything else?
That's it.
All
Ready
right.
to take on July.
All right. Didn't I promise you fireworks?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like an exhausted note to end it on.
Oh, no.
At 1:50 a.m. in the morning.
And 3 hours later.
For the Parking Lot Projectionists, I'm Andrew.
I'm Raymond.
Shutting it down. Oh, I gotta hit stop. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
They're coming back. They're gonna kill us all.
Oh, my God.
You should follow your dreams, sweetie. You wanted to be a pirate. You want to be a pirate.
A pirate.